Okay.
Alrighty.
This is sausage and waffles.
Salsa. That's awesome.
Honestly, we should start with some of those. Just start using those names. They're hilarious.
Anyways,
No, yeah, I'm here. I'm just not on camera,
yeah.
guys.
Kenneth's not feeling
Been
well
a
today. It's
day,
okay.
a long day.
It's okay.
He's quote unquote fidgety.
Fidgety, yeah,
Fidgety.
because it's been a long day.
Is that even a world?
You had a
Anyways,
rough day, guys. You had a rough day.
so we gonna start with the first. I think the biggest news of the week is that what Evo got canceled, and alone he came with a lot of other heat towards the people who attend the Evo what's it called game tournament, and
Evo got canceled a long time ago, but that's not the kind of cancel we're talking about. I don't think.
oh,
I think
Nah,
they
that's not
mean
the
Evo.
cancel we're talking about.
Right, we're talking about Evo being canceled as a social media cancel.
all right, go ahead, take him.
All the drama that's happening in this Super Smash Bros. Ultimate community.
So okay, so what do you guys think
Take it
about
away.
that? Since
Well, first, go ahead, right?
I mean, obviously, we have bigger players like Zero getting, I mean, having to address the situation from his perspective.
All right, all right, all right. So you didn't even explain what it is. So what's been
Yeah,
going on in
let's go ahead
the
and
Smash
first
community?
state
So
what happened.
so there's a lot of those Smash players that go to tournaments. Nairo,
Zero.
D1, Zero, Speaky K Taro. All these guys, allegedly,
West Balls.
were what happened?
West Balls.
Oh yeah, West Boss, the only melee representative. They all got accused, of rape, statutory rape in a way. So yeah, go ahead, carry it away.
All right, so before this gets any crazier, okay? A lot of these people, like I said, it's statutory rape, okay? But we have to define the legal terms that are involved in this, okay? So first of all, it's gonna be the age of consent. Does everyone know what that is?
You
I
better.
hope so.
Give consent. Yeah.
You have better.
Ruben, what do you know the age of consent?
Yes.
What is it?
You have to give
It's 18.
18.
Oh.
Well, I have to say it. You have to say it. Say it. I
So,
give consent.
so
Say,
the
yeah.
reason why I say that is because the age of consent, okay, is the
Right.
age at which a person could give consent under any circumstance. Okay, the reason why I have to say that is because it's also something the minimum age of the victim. All right, and the only reason they have that is everyone knows that minors get into sexual encounters with each other, and so the lowest level or the lowest age that someone can give consent if they're in a sexual relationship with another minor, right, is called the minimum age of the victim. And then that goes hand in hand with the age differential. And the age differential is the maximum age a person can be from the minimum age of the victim in order to not be a predator, essentially. So in that case, it depends on the state, and then from there it gets its other stuff like defendant, etc. But those are three things that matter. So keep that in mind when we're talking about this, all right? Because a lot of people will be like, oh, it was a 14, 15-year-old. It's not that serious. Talk about legally here.
Yes, indeed.
Nah, you going 14. You already crossing that borderline. You went
And
past
so,
that border.
so the really interesting thing is that as liberal as people like to complain about California, California is actually the most conservative state when it comes to age of consent because not only is the age of consent 18, but the minimum age of the victim is also 18, which means it
18.
actually
Yeah.
has the highest minimum age of the
18. Yeah.
victim, which means you're not even supposed to have sex under the age of 18 in California, which is hella conservative. So a lot of people complain about California being like super liberal. There you go. We believe in church values here. Okay, I just want to say that. Go ahead, guys.
So at the end, like this again, this is something that's it's very serious, and we've seen it, trickle down all since I believe 2019 in the communities that we're a part of. Pokemon, gaming, and now Smash Brothers. Right? It's definitely sad. It's depressing to see these things start to tarnish the communities that we like to be a part of, right? Like we all like to, play Pokemon. We all like to play Smash Brothers and get together. And there's certain level of comfort that you get, right? Like, oh, these are all Nintendo properties. There's all supposed to be, family friendly. Like everything is supposed to be crystal clear. But then you start looking at these people who have made a lot of money, right? And who have taken the game to a completely different level, right? Because there is a market for that as well, right? It's a product and people are selling that product. And you start seeing these allegations, and then everything kind of just leaves a really bad taste in your mouth, right? You don't want to. It's really difficult to identify with this, with this community. You watch those videos, right? You watch them play games, like you follow their career and everything, and then suddenly this happens, and you're like, oh my god, why? This is horrible.
Right.
And and I think everything at the moment is just still in allegations, right?
Right. Yeah. Most of it's just allegations. So
Right.
some people have like apologized for it. Some people just said it because they didn't really know.
Okay.
Like some people, they said they were drunk, so they're like, "Oh, I didn't remember. I'm sorry." So people actually
Yeah.
apologize for the behavior. So while they are still legally allegations, some people have kind of confirmed them in that way, in a roundabout way. Now they haven't really confirmed them, but they kind of like said, "Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, this happened." Blah blah.
Well, Nairo pretty much confirmed it.
Right, exactly. But he never really, you know what I mean?
What?
Like he never really said, yeah, I did this. It was more of, I'm sorry for my actions. Which
Yes.
is
So, I mean, he's pretty much
Broad
admitting
blanket,
it.
right, exactly. So they kind of admitted it, but without really admitting
Yeah,
it.
but just by saying it, it just give it a big stigma to the community of Smash.
I think
Negative feedback.
I think that's the thing too, is like because Nintendo already had like this reputation to be for kids, something that Nintendo wanted in the first place, right? And a lot of people already looked at like adults who played on Nintendo consoles as kind of like weirdos, right? And then a lot of people, it's kind of for those people with all this coming out, it's like, see, we told you these guys are like weirdos. You get what I'm saying? It's like it's confirming all the negative stereotypes about adults who play, Smash Bros and Pokemon and all that stuff. And I think that's a pretty bad thing as well, because it's like it's going to be harder. Like this year they had big plans for Smash Bros, right? They had the Smash World Tour. They had Nintendo was finally caring about the competitive scene, and after all that, all this comes out in like the last 24 hours, 48 hours.
Yeah.
And now it's going to make everyone, including Nintendo, kind of like step away from it. I mean, a lot of people are already saying it's like, oh, we're already saying when these allegations are coming out that Nintendo didn't want to be involved in the community, not because Nintendo hated it, but because you didn't make a community that Nintendo would want to be involved with. And it's going to give a justification for all the sponsors pulling out, because the Smash World Tour already got hit by COVID-19, right? It already kind of got canceled for that. And a lot of people already lost a lot of money, right? They already booked the hotels. They already started planning trips. A lot of sponsors put in for it. And then, so already convincing them to reallocate more money to make sure it happens this time was already going to be a challenge. But with all the accusations, it's going to be even harder now. And some people are just going to say, no way, I'm not going to do it, because I don't want to be associated with that. And so it's a huge hit to the Smash Bros. Community.
Yeah. I think that like while it is a big hit, right, it's something that needed to happen, right? Because if these actions were actually happening, behind closed doors, right, where we had the community, based on face value what we saw, and there were things going on the background that the audience, the public in general, was not aware of, right? These allegations need to come out, right? And those people who were the victims of these, they need that justice, like they need that closure, right? Because it is necessary and it is very harmful for them. And the people who were there committing these acts, right? Whether they were drunk or not, whether they were whatever, right? The fact is that you have to own up to your actions, right? And there's a consequence, right? At the end, hopefully, all of these communities, like the Pokemon community and the Smash Brothers communities, can come back stronger, right?
Right.
We need some sort of accountability, right? Because what these people don't realize is that like they are more than just entertainers, right? They label themselves as influencers, entertainers. No, 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 no. They're a lot more than that. They represent a large group, right? And to a certain extent, right? When Nintendo big companies get involved, right? You're
Right.
you're saying like, oh, these people are representing a community, and their recognition, their role in it is actually recognized by the parent company, right?
Right.
You should have some sort of responsibilities. You're a role model,
Right.
right?
And that's what it comes down to, because by putting their label on it, the company is saying, hey, you're representing us too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. And I think that's what it comes down to as well, because it's like, now what's going to happen? Essentially, what this has done is that this put a hard barrier up. Nintendo says their console is for kids primarily,
Mhm.
kids and families. However, now that it's been established that a lot of these guys may be predators to those children, how are the tournaments going to be run now? Are they going to even allow people under the age of 18? Are they going to allow people under the age of 16? Right, you know what I mean? It's like, are they going to just say nope, you can't come? Are they going to be a hard cut? Are they going to say, hey man, Nintendo says this is for kids, only kids could come here? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, and I think Andres can chime in here, and also Josh, because they play Pokemon TCG and sometimes VCG. When Nintendo's the entity who is running the show, they're very good at making tiers, right? Like, so we have Junior League for certain age groups, and you have Intermediate League, and then you have like Worldwide League. So like whenever Pokemon
The
Worlds is
Masters.
going on, right? You can tune in and see the kids tournament, or you can tune in to see the adults, in
Right.
whether it be the video game or the card game. But the problem is that Nintendo doesn't really have any credible presence holding tournaments for the games they create.
Right. And that's also another thing too, which is because me and Josh having that conversation earlier. Companies like Evo, we don't even know if it's still going to be resurrected, but Apex, they said over the years they didn't have that much money, right? So do they even have the money to create tiers like that? See, it's easy for Nintendo, right? Because Nintendo is a billion-dollar company. They could drop tiers, hey, we're gonna do this, give out thousands of dollars in prizes. They give out scholarships, they give out all kinds of things. But can Evo? Because Evo rents it for like 3 days? They rent the hotel for 3 days that they hold it in. They rent the stadium.
Yeah, they rent the venue.
Right? Can they rent that for more time to get kids on the table, to get teenagers on the table?
I doubt it. Seeing how Evo is not a Smash tournament, it's a FGC tournament, and Smash is just like one side of it. So they're not gonna dedicate a whole kids division and all that stuff just for Smash. Like they will have to do that for everything else too, but they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, whenever you're renting something, like for example, like you're in my experiences with Anime Expo, right? Since my involvement as a volunteer in there, I know that every time that something happens, LA Convention Center puts new requirements for them, right? If you want to rent this space, right, you need to be able to provide extra security, extra so-and-so, because we can't be liable for what happens here if you are not properly prepared to run the show. Okay.
Right.
So what we need to see is like we need to see uh, sponsors, right? Like, give me a sponsor. I'm blanking out.
Coca-Cola. There you go.
No. Sponsors for video for like the gamers.
Oh,
Like
it'd be like
gamers?
Razor.
It'd be like
Yeah,
Razer,
Liquid,
Nvidia,
Liquid.
all of
you
these.
know.
Yeah, like they have to realize that they're not playing any games. Like, dude, you are paying people who you claim they're uh, gaming athletes, right, or something like that. You need to make sure that all of your people are in line and they follow a certain code, right? You can't just pick anybody simply because they're good, and that's just what's been going on now. Like, oh, this person is really good, right? Get it in, right? Because it brings a lot of viewers. Well, have you done background checks? Have you had a psychological evaluation? What's going on? Have you looked at least at their Twitter?
I think that's another thing, though. It's like a lot of these people, they don't really start abusing their power till they have it. You know what I mean? Like they'll get hired by this team and they'll be perfectly clean. And then as soon as they rise to the top and they get all this influence, then they're like, oh, people look up to me. People do
Yeah.
X, Y, Z. Now I'm gonna take advantage of that. It's most of the time it's not even malicious like that. I'm just like putting it as like a step-by-step process. But it's like, how do you make sure that that's not happening? Because they're going to try everything in their power to keep a secret.
No, absolutely. They're going to, but what we know is that they're going to try, yes, but, no matter what, the truth will always come out, and it has to, right? Because justice needs to be served. And then, but if we look at, for example, Mango, right? Mango is synonymous with Evo when I think, to this point, to my knowledge, to a good extent, and man, we have him like drinking during his streams, right? And he's sponsored, right? It's like, is there nobody saying, hey, you know what? Maybe you really shouldn't do that. And if you,
his sponsors don't really care. It's Twitch that cares.
but see,
They
like,
don't allow alcohol on their stream, but their sponsors like whatever.
I know, but then that's the thing. Like, sponsors shouldn't be whatever, right? Sponsors should be like, you know what? After you, like, if Ken says like it's true, right? As soon as you get a certain level of popularity, a certain level of influence, right? It goes to your head and you start doing stupid stuff. Like we've seen it in other YouTubers. Maybe at that point, right? It's time to come in and say like, hey, you know what? You need to, in order to continue with our brand, you need to go through this evaluation. Let's go, let's talk, let's see what's going on, like how are you doing, how are you handling this. There should be checkpoints along the way. I mean, we live in a society where we're talking about doing this to police officers, right? As soon as they're out there for too long, right, they need a psychological evaluation in order to make sure that they can still serve on the streets, right?
Right.
And these sponsors are essentially taking no responsibility.
The only difference with that is that, like, if you set your stream to mature, then you pretty much covered your ass. If your stream is available to kids, then you're pretty much fucked. But if you put it mature, you covered your ass and say, well, they can't even be here anyway. So if they're here, then their parents are messing up.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to is that I agree the sponsors do need to take more responsibility. But when it comes to Mango and drinking on stream, I don't particularly enjoy it. But he's not really doing anything illegal. He's not really doing anything wrong.
No. And like I said, I don't think he's been involved in any of these allegations, right?
He hasn't. Yeah.
One thing we can say is that the Smash Ultimate players need to learn from the Melee gods, because not one of them have accusations.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's just the age restriction of event is Eva can come back again.
Is it so hard to just get
fix
some booty from of age? Is it that hard?
Well, I mean, you have to look at it.
Look, I've had this conversation before.
No.
Some can look older and stuff like that,
Oh yeah, no, not. It's not even that. I believe, I think Zero touched upon it, where he's like, I'm really socially awkward. Like if I'm not the one that usually approaches, people are usually the ones who approach me.
That's not an excuse.
Oh no! I'm not saying that's not an excuse.
If it's wrong, being socially awkward is not an excuse. Cause imagine like, yo, a 9-year-old come at you. Yo, I'm socially awkward. Go ahead, do it.
All
Like,
right,
come on.
let me finish. All right. I'm not saying that's an excuse, nor did I ever that ever come out of my mouth. What I'm saying is that these people are put in these high pedestals, and people who are younger see those people on high pedestals.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you see females as well that go to these events and see god tier players, and they're gonna want to, oh my god, like you play so well, blah blah blah, whatever. That's
Yeah,
how
they get swooned, right? I mean,
right, exactly.
They see
And
them as
then-
celebrities.
it's
And
the
you're
same
not
idea.
right.
When a girl goes to a concert, right? Those things have happened in the past. Like we have allegations, like a long list of allegations for like artists, right, who have taken
Right.
advantage
Right.
of their fans.
I think that's what the thing, right? Because it's like as an adult, being socially awkward doesn't absolve you from responsibility. You know what I mean? Like it's still you as an adult that should know better. These are things you should be
Right.
checking for simply because you're an adult. And it's like this is why I brought up that point a few minutes ago. Which like this is Smash Bros. Ultimate, right? This is a Nintendo game from a company that markets to children. So you should be taking extra precaution, thinking that people of underage are going to be at those tournaments, especially because a lot of the competitors in those tournaments are below 18 as well. And so you should really be checking for this as an adult. You should really know better, despite if you're socially awkward or not, because whether you're socially awkward or not, it doesn't stop you from saying, "Hey, how are you?" or "No, like you're too young." Like these things are still, within your power, being socially awkward or not.
Yeah, but that's not the that's not even the main thing. The main thing is that people, like Max said, people just swoon over, and then you as the as the player, the competitor, whatever, the first thing in your mind is not what is the age of this person. The person's oh my god, you're doing this, blah blah blah. I love you so much, and you're just like, oh, thank you,
I get what you're
and then it gets to a certain point, but you like you said, Ken, you as the adult, when it does get to that point where of no return, and you as the adult have the conscious decision to go, hey, like I just figured out this person's way younger than me. I need to cut it.
So,
but that's what I was saying. It was like because in this particular case, this is a game that was designed for kids.
For kids.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, kids are going to be a large audience. It was like I would say stuff like this, Minecraft, Fortnite, games that are like specifically targeted towards people who are under the age of 18. You should be taking extra precaution because I think earlier this week, I think it was a director or a producer, someone like that, where a girl accused him, or a woman, I should say now, accused him of sexual assault, and he presented the text messages where she was like, hey, I'm really into you, I like your work. She admired him, all that kind of stuff, and she wanted to get with him, but she was underage. But he asked her, he said, "Are you 18?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm 2." And he was like, "Seriously, how old are you?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm 21." It's like, "Really? Are you 21?" She's like, "Okay, I'm 16." He's like, "I'm sorry, but I only date 18-year-old and up."
yeah, I mean,
He wasn't even in this community. He was doing this normal other stuff.
like to people, to everyone in this call, like it's self-explanatory. You don't even have to think about it, right?
Right.
Like when you're put in that position, you know what to do. You ask, and if after asking so much you're still not sure, you don't do it. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yo, nowadays you gotta be like, let
But
me see your ID.
exactly,
Yeah, you have to be a security guard. Yeah.
But if that's what it comes down to, like treat them like they have COVID. Okay, you ask, are you infected? No, are those legit serious? Are you infected? Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna wait for it until you're done. Okay,
and
If they can't pull out an ID, she too young for you, fam.
And the problem here is that like you have a lot of people, like for example, all of these good players, like at what age did they start playing and becoming famous, right? So they are growing within this community. They are developing, they are turning into adults within this community, right? And sometimes the role models they have are not the best, right? You're essentially uh, what you will learn from. Sometimes you won't even learn the basic things. So, like, what I'm saying is that these people sometimes are too young, and then when they start with this career and they get the fame and everything, that then they focus so much on what they're doing in terms of the game, in terms of like uh, playing, etc., the fame, etc., that people forget that, hey, this at some point they were really young and they're developing in this game. They are bound to, you know, not be as normal as everybody else is, right? And we take them as just like, oh, they're fine, they're fine. Like, no, they're not fine. Like, and I'm saying, like, we need to be more accountable. Sponsors need to be checking on these. Like, they're freaking babies. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know. Like, I know what everyone said. Right now, our arguments, we make it seem like we're just assuming they're all guilty, right?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like that, but we're not assuming they're guilty. We're just saying, like, as the general rules of thumb, these are the things you should be doing.
Well,
These are
Nairo's guilty, so
No,
that's a
she-
fact.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a fact.
yeah, that's a fact.
But I mean, like, as a general thing of the whole list,
I know.
a lot of it is just accusations. Like, we just say, like, as like after precaution, as a general rule of thumb, these are the kind of steps you should be taking to make sure it does not happen.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
All you need is one accusation and you're canceled, even if it wasn't true.
No, you're dead after that.
Well,
The
the
social
thing
media
is that,
can see you're up alive, basically.
I
well,
mean,
the thing is
look,
that you have the right to defend yourself. It's true, right? But then at the same time, like, it's better to err on the side of caution in these cases, right?
right. I mean, look at Angry Joe, the allegations that came out with him, and the girl made like a whole fucking, essay about like what happened in that incident, and everybody was just like, wait a minute, your story doesn't make fucking sense. After Joe came out with his side, and he's like, in your story, not once did you mention you had a boyfriend, and he was taking you out to dinners and letting you meet influencers, and at any point you could have said, no, I'm not comfortable because I have a boyfriend. And what, in those 2 or 3 days that you were spending time with him, at no point did you say, I'm uncomfortable, I have a boyfriend, or any of that. So it's just like your point or your validity of saying that, Angry Joe forced himself on you or anything it's completely stupid, because at no point did you stop yourself, or did you stop him, or let him know that you're already seeing someone else.
And the same thing happened to Justin Bieber recently.
All right.
They said that he
Yeah.
did, but he had the woman said that he was staying in a hotel, invited her back, and sexually assaulted her, but he had receipts showing with his girlfriend at the time, showing that he was actually in an Airbnb. So
she
right.
I mean,
she failed.
like I said,
Yeah, but that was not the only person that came out after him, because once that story came out, right, all the people who actually had an encounter with him and had receipts came out forward with their story, because they said, "Oh, people are doing it. This is my time to say something about it," right? So, but those allegations got like thrown out the window once the first one wasn't valid. But
oh, I see. So
That's the system, right? It's like
Yeah.
what it was kind of like what happened with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's guilty. Okay, it's like everyone
Yeah,
saying
it is.
it's like after he did that's like what 80 women. They were saying if even one turned out to be false, everyone's just going to automatically assume all the other ones are false,
Right.
even if it's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, the first few ones, everybody was like, nah, they're lying.
Of
And
course,
then,
yeah.
it was like 1, 2, 3. I think it was until like the 30th one. That's when people were like, all right, something's wrong here.
No, and that's why you need, like, okay, so like any science paper, right? Like, you need more data, right? You need more sample size. You need a larger sample size, and then it's unfortunate because it should be only one in this case, right? Like if you do things wrong once, that should be it, right? But if we have this case where, like, oh, one is suspected to be not true, then everything else is like thrown out. Like that's crazy. But then that's the system we have, and it's unfortunate. Uh, right. But then when you have cases like this, right, with the players, and this is just like you said, this is the players, which they should be reformed, right? And then, but if it leads to the incarceration or the removal of people who were like the head of Evo, right, were super guilty and they're horrible human beings. They need to be right. I'm glad it happened. Like
Right.
I'm glad that all of these people came out and they had the courage to come out and they say like, hey, these people did something wrong.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's just that, some of the people on the list, they did admit it. They did say, yeah, I did it. I messed up. Sorry. But the thing is, I think what happened was, like everything, a lot of these people went ignored or got hate, when they came out originally. And, it got buried and then it just all came flooding to the top and destroyed the whole scene, or at least stunted its growth for a while.
Yeah.
And
Right.
And like that's just what happened. I mean, that's what happened when you don't take the first person, um, seriously the first time, because the first person they'll say, "Hey, it happened to me." People will ignore it. That all that does is it gives a signal to everyone else. Hey, no one cares about these people, and so it continues to happen. They ignore it. It continues to happen, and before you know it, it just explodes. Everything goes to shit, and everyone's just wondering what happened. I was like, well, they've been saying it for years. You just didn't care.
Yeah, like when you didn't pay attention the first time, right? And then that's why we're here. Yeah. So, final words when it comes to this topic. Uh,
Check the girl's ID before you talk to them. Yeah.
no. Like, just be more aware. You're an adult.
Be more mindful about
Right.
the situation you're about to get in.
If you approach a shorty, ask for that
Yeah.
ID, fam.
Well,
Just
but
ask her.
it's not even that. It's just common sense.
Right. Just
In
just
reality.
pay. Just
Well,
have,
most people don't have common sense nowadays, so
Well, especially nowadays. It's just
they be
all
like,
the
"Oh,
stupid
that's
shit
a
that's coming
girl.
out.
Let's go."
No, like,
Yeah,
and to
just
anybody
time.
who's listening, right? You need to be responsible, right? Whether you're female or male, right? Because this is not just you need to be if you're over 18, you need to be responsible. You need to do your readings. You need to know what risk you're on and what you should and shouldn't do. And if you feel like for any reason you can't do it, you have to seek help. Okay, for if you feel like because you you need more guidance in that case, and for the victims, right, who came out, we want to say thank you for having the courage to do so. I mean, our communities will be stronger because of you.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Alrighty. So should we proceed?
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Doctor Respect,
Dr.
yeah.
Respect, living.
Not leaving. He
Oh,
got
well, yeah, we
banned
got banned, obviously, yeah, but
Rubber band for Twitch.
on Twitch.
Permaban.
So Dr. Disrespect used to be a Call of Duty developer because of course he was. And
Well,
no, I was
before
kidding.
he used to be just a YouTuber, then Call of Duty developer,
Yeah,
then
right.
YouTube again, or streamer.
Streamer.
He's like, damn, I make more money doing content than freaking making content.
Yeah,
Right.
it's crazy. He went to the full spectrum. I remember I used to watch him back in the day, man, when he wasn't even a developer.
I think it was the Modern Warfare days.
Yeah,
I'm making videos and stuff.
So stay his back
early
on
stuff on YouTube is super entertaining.
Yeah. So stay back on topic. What happened, guys? Explain it to me.
So essentially, he, it all started with supposedly just one day he was, streaming at, I think it was earlier last week, and he just got like a notification on his phone, and then he just started saying like, oh, our community is strong, just stay up, just be holden to your beliefs. And then like he switched it to like a Minecraft stream where he was just watching another like Minecraft video, and he was just like kind of going through like the motion until like they cut his channel.
Right.
And then after that, his wife posted saying like, "Oh, thank you for all the support. in this, in our time of need, and blah blah blah, blah. We'll pull through, blah blah blah, and then so every people were thinking that maybe it was through another allegations through cheating, but that wasn't the case. It's more, I think Slasher made it apparent on Twitch and said that he was in the talks of, another business deal that basically bumped heads with his contract, which he did renewed his contract with Twitch less than 6 months ago for $20 million.
Right.
So whatever, because he's had allegations done before and Twitch hasn't dropped them, nor I think maybe like one or two sponsors dropped them, but I mean that wasn't anything for him. But Twitch still stayed by his side. So another allegation that comes out, I don't think Twitch would have dropped them. It's more like what Slasher said. He was in the talks of doing another deal that, bumped heads with this contract, and they're like, nah, fam, like, we just renewed your contract for $20 million, and now you're with another company saying that you might want to leave our platform that breaches contract. We're gonna permaban you. And it was
right, because it's like he didn't take an action, which means legally he didn't breach the contract.
Yeah.
Right. So they can't even really say he breached it.
Well, I think that
you can make a contract, and then you can seek future contracts while you're in a contract, but you just can't, accept
right. But
I that deal making a new contract, just making business with them, thought like, oh, you're making business with them, bro. We get you out.
It's like if I got a job and I go want to get another job, while working there.
Right, and it's also was apparent that he probably made one of the main heads of Twitch or someone in Google mad, and so that also influenced his permaban.
You mean Amazon?
Oh yeah, Amazon. Sorry about that. Yeah, someone in Amazon like high up, or someone in Twitch high up. He like pissed off, and then with this, it just. I don't think it went that far.
Yo, imagine Jeff is like, "Word."
I don't think Jeff Bezos would give a shit. Fool's almost a billionaire.
If Amazon terminates that contract over that and it's not in the contract, they should be punished for breach of contract. But more importantly, if he didn't breach, I can't imagine what. And if he did just renew his contract, why would you ban him so soon?
Yeah. I mean, unless you didn't want to cough up those $20 million,
right?
I mean, I just feel like they just want to make an example of him. Like nobody has the authority on Twitch.
But
same thing.
Or streamers.
Right, yeah. But also Dr. Disrespect, like on that stream where they canceled it, he seemed as if like he knew why he got banned. It wasn't something like that like caught him off guard. It was just like, fuck, yep, I just got the notification. Fuck, I'm gonna get banned.
He got banned before, right?
He got banned.
Yeah, but it wasn't. That was like more of like a suspension rather than a permaban.
But this is
it's so this is like permanent ban. They also refunded money to subscribers. That's how far it went down.
It went, yeah.
Yeah, man, I would say it's probably maybe the contract thing. I can see that because, like I said, in Steam, the shop, the video game on PC, they made a rule saying that if you put your game on Steam, because they were tired of Epic exclusives, right? So they said if you put your game on Steam, you have to put it out within 3 months of it being on Steam. So you can't say put it on Steam to get the popularity and then say, oh, it's going to be Epic exclusive. You have to do Steam and then 3 months on Steam. If you don't, then I don't know what the consequences are, but maybe they'll just ban you from Steam. But like they did that. So maybe by looking for a new contract, maybe he did piss off someone in Amazon who just renewed it. Because sometimes you have contracts like that, they'll buy you out. Like the company like, hey, come to our platform. We'll buy out your 20 million Twitch contract, right? and then we'll give you an extra 30 million on top of it.
Right.
That's something that companies do, and maybe they were trying to like stop him from like being
And-
famous in the meantime.
Right. And also those contracts could always be so tricky, and then like they have those fine prints, and he might have not read it, and then he just
What kind of
basically
money
breached
he
it without even knowing.
Yeah. With the kind of money he's making, definitely as a lawyer.
But maybe we have like he wants to be free agent like Ninja and Shroud, right?
No, I don't think
know.
he wants to be a free agent. I think he just wanted to make more money. I think
Yeah, I know,
that's what it
but
is.
now he's a free agent. To be
you
honest.
being
now
well, yeah.
he has no choice about it.
That wasn't that. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't planning on that, but I'm pretty sure he wanted to still be on Twitch, and I think he was just finding other opportunities, just because of like everything that's been happening with Twitch, and not Twitch not going in the right direction as of lately, and it's
Right.
not been at more of gaming now. It's been more of like e-girls,
Yep.
Right.
and so maybe
That's-
he was just feeling like I need to go where it is about the games. Who knows, right? But we don't know. We know all we do know is that he did know why he got banned, and for what it sounds like, it was because he breached his contract.
So what do you think he could
Well,
do? Like?
it's crazy because we talk about these people because they make a lot of money. They have they're the people who are running the show, so to speak, when it comes to those games, right? They have a lot of influence, and they're in the news, right? They're in people's mouth, so to speak. But then once they leave, somebody else is gonna take their place, right? These people are not that special in that sense, right? Like, sure, they brought something unique to the table, and that's why they reach that level of fame. But if him leaving or Ninja leaving, for example, I don't think it's going to impact video game sales at all, or the number of subscriptions. It's going to impact them, sure, but long term, I don't know.
From what we've learned, when Microsoft, did the deal with Ninja and Shroud, no one gave a damn. No one went to Mixer, and now Mixer's dead. So, people just go wherever the game is. Really.
The thing is, you say like, oh, it doesn't impact. I don't think it has anything to do with the games. It has to do with the platform. And when you have your biggest names leaving, like Ninja, Shroud, now Dr. Disrespect, and you don't. It's like the example is AMC TV channel, right? What is it that everyone flocks to, and why the reason they get their ratings? It's through Walking Dead. If they didn't have Walking Dead, no one would be paying attention to the AMC. They don't have Mad Men anymore.
This is different. This is different.
Well, no,
because when someone leaves, they just go to the next streamer. That's what I do.
I mean, yes, but like as in a big name that's making you shitload of money. When Ninja left, who filled that void? Dr. Disrespect filled that void. Now, who is the next person that fills that void? There isn't really a person. Shroud left.
Josh gonna be earning that
$1 million.
Shroud left, and so you can't even say Shroud. Who's the next one? Dr. Lupo. Dr. Lupo doesn't even get that much numbers
on Twitch.
Yeah, but like it's nothing in comparison to what Dr. Disrespect or Ninja did even on Twitch.
At one point, Tfue was making more money and views than
Ninja was. But that's the Fortnite game, though. What about
Right, so I think what you said about AMC was more apt than you think it was, right? You're right. People go to AMC for Walking Dead, but before that, people were going to AMC for Breaking Bad.
Well, Breaking Bad or Mad Men. Right.
But then once Breaking Bad and Mad Men ended, they went for Walking Dead, right?
Right.
So
find something new.
The same thing, right, would apply to Twitch. Because most of the time, what happens is usually the game. Because it's like they were saying, at the height of after Ninja, kind of stopped being number one in Fortnite, it was Tfue. He was beating him by like 30,000 viewers. And I think what it is just people are gonna leave. And by leaving, they might bring more attention to other things like Mixer and Facebook, because I didn't know about Facebook gaming until Zero went there.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I did. I knew about it.
but at the end
Good
of the
idea about it.
but at the end of the day, I think what would happen is that what's all that's gonna happen is that people are just gonna say, "Hey, I like this game," or "I like the someone playing the game." I'm just gonna find someone new on Twitch. Like it's like I said, the biggest factor in people making a decision is usually convenience, not really personalities. They most people really don't care about the personality. It's just like, are you in a place that's convenient for me to watch it? Yes, I'll watch it. No, screw it. And
Yeah.
you saw that. And you saw that what happened with Epic Game Store, Origin,
Oh.
Ubisoft, or Uplay and Steam, where a lot of Origin games were flopping until they went to Steam, and then they had like renewed life. And so a lot of games started moving back onto Steam because at the end of the day, if you make it too difficult for people to get access, they're just gonna they're just gonna ignore it, and that's why piracy is such a thing, is because people rather have convenience than having to search around for someone or something. And so Twitch is just it just has the convenience. It's there. It's a simple name. People are already make accounts there. They already have people there. Because even after Ninja and Shroud left, Twitch was the number one growing streaming service. Like still, so clearly no one
Right.
cared.
No, but to be honest, that was also a lot of help with COVID-19 because people were staying at home, right?
Right.
Then
Nope.
most of the people were,
I mean,
I said, like, "Oh, I'm at home. What can I do? I'm just gonna stream something that hasn't been on Twitch yet." So
that's
most of the
the thing.
people were having like yoga poses, yoga teachers being
All right. Check this out.
for free.
If that's true,
Atlas doesn't matter. Is they still chose Twitch over Mixer, Facebook,
yo, look.
etc.
If that's true, if people would go there for the personality, when Microsoft bought Shroud and Ninja, why didn't Mixer shoot up?
Oh, well, that's simple because
No one went there.
It didn't. Well, the platform didn't offer what Twitch offered.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, so no one went there. Like
Right.
all about it's the platform, not the people.
And right. And until there's a platform that actually benefits the streamer and actually has a more intuitive platform than Twitch, people are still going to flock to Twitch no matter what.
And to
Yeah,
be honest,
that's what it is.
how
Right.
long have been Twitch how long has it been Twitch, like in general? How many years has it been?
It's been around since Justin TV,
Yeah,
which is
it's
like
been
what
a long
2001.
time.
Yeah.
And there you go. More
Yeah.
people
But
are gonna know.
it went by another name, didn't it?
Yeah, it was
Just
Justin
Justin
TV.
TV.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But people will go for the one that I already know for, that already like settled, the one that's convenient for everybody, like you say. Like Twitch is convenient to everybody, right? And when
Now they're integrating Twitch, what else these called extensions into games too. You're not gonna get that on Mixer. You're not gonna get that on Facebook Gaming. It's like the problem is that they're doing kind of like what Epic is doing with Steam, which is that they're trying to compete with the first one, but they're not really giving you a platform that's good enough to tell you to go there. And so it's just like, cool. I like the videos. I like Ninja and Shroud and all those people. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time with low quality videos on Facebook Gaming. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't come here for 480p. I want to see 1080p. Like
They never
just
even
a-
offer 60 frames, man.
right.
I mean, that's why people are not subscribed to the Peacock, right? They got absolutely nothing, and their content are terrible. All right, but so moving on from subscription, unless you want to keep talking about, the difference between, Microsoft Gaming and Facebook Gaming and how good they are, right? Or we can talk about the ladies that are going to get their own movie pretty soon.
Silver Sable and Black Cat.
Yeah. So is this a movie about them together or two independent movies?
Wait, who? What movie?
That's them
Silver
together.
Sable and Black Cat.
Really?
Yeah, and it's
Together
them
in one movie.
together.
The thing is, right now it's stalled because the Sony is wondering if it's possible to make a movie about those two without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Even
that's
though
what
Black
they're.
Cat.
They're both
It's-
Spider-Man's girlfriends at some point, or love interests.
love
interest, yeah. I mean, and it's weird because I know Silver Sable. I don't think she. I want to say she wasn't introduced in a Spider-Man comic, but Black Cat was. It's kind of like that that Venom conundrum where Venom was, presented in the Spider-Man 300 comic book, but
Mm-hmm.
in the movie, Spider-Man wasn't anywhere there.
It's
And
thanks for cutting off. Silver Saber was introduced in the Spider-Man comic.
oh, okay, cool. I wasn't sure because I know she was in like later comics, but I just wasn't sure. But yeah, so it's weird that these two characters were both introduced in Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is gonna not be anywhere apparent in the movie.
I think
So
what they're trying to do. Oh, go ahead.
no, go for it.
Okay, so I think what they're trying to do is this is something I've been saying for a while. DC sucks at making movies, right? But when it comes to female characters, DC kind of has it on lock, right? You saw they had Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn just magically got popular out of nowhere. DC, I mean, Marvel really doesn't have anything of that level, right? They don't have anything on the level of Supergirl, Wonder Woman, now Harley Quinn, and I think with people now that they're capitalizing on those female characters, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, you have TV shows about Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, all these shows, right? All these things, even Catwoman.
Yeah.
I think what they realize is that they're kind of falling way behind when it comes to female characters, and they never really gave any attention to them. I think like what they're most popular, what Spider-Man? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is
yeah,
most
and
popular right now.
Right, but she isn't really even that popular compared to Wonder Woman, who's been popular for like the last 40 years.
Yeah, I want to say now, me being back into comics and how like I'm seeing how like audiences are turning. DC's been like on a slump lately, and Wonder Woman's not like been a very. I mean, there's been that Death Metal tie-in right now, series, but it's
I'm not
Wonder Woman.
I'm just talking about like.
But what I'm saying, even the casuals, like even casuals, like I think there's more buzz when it comes to Spider-Gwen now than Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is always gonna have that legacy. Spider-Woman is that new and brand new car. Like it came out about
I see what you're saying, but I just think that like Wonder Woman is like she's been like the face of feminism in America for like God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just saying, like, I think like symbolically, like a lot of DC female characters have just been more developed and put into the mainstream.
Correct.
Whereas in like a lot of Marvel characters haven't. Female characters.
Like when it comes to Marvel female characters particularly, right? They were, with few exceptions, they were developed as support characters, right? They're secondary characters, and that's Black Cat, that's Silver Sable, right? They were never supposed to be mainliners, or never, they were never created with that purpose, right? They were love interests, they were villains, they were interesting. They headed their own comic book, so to speak. And when you have Wonder Woman was created as a headliner. Okay.
Right.
When it comes to, for example, another female character that comes to mind, it's a Catwoman, right? Catwoman was created as a headliner rather than just a villain or support character. Her arc, her story has always been complex, tied to Batman. Almost.
Catwoman actually came out in Detective Comics as a villain or as an anti-hero, but she wasn't a mainliner.
No. I know she's not a mainliner, but when it comes to like the relationship they develop with Batman, like it's not like Batman is more famous than Catwoman, rather that they're equal, like in the sense of like, this character is just as important as Catwoman. Okay, for example, in Black Cat, right, you have Mary Jane, you have Gwen Stacy, you have Black Cat, right? Spider-Man's filled with female companions, right? Black Cat was just diluted in that sense. So Marvel has the challenge of creating compelling stories for these female characters. They're great, absolutely great, right? But they're just when you look back at the comic book history, right, there's not that much to go off of. Like, so you have to create something new. That's why when it comes to Captain Marvel, right, it wasn't as strong a film as all the rest in the MCUs because a lot of things were created in order to give that character a little bit more depth. Okay.
Right.
And then when it comes to these, right, Silver Sable, great design, Black Cat, great design. What are they going to do to incorporate them? Because you have the challenge of creating compelling stories, then because you also have the challenge of creating an overarching saga, right? Because everybody wants to connect one movie to the next now.
Right. And the way you just hope to God it, like, since it's like a duo movie, you just hope to God it doesn't fall in line with the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
Where they had like a whole like, you know, girl group and it fell flat because you're introducing new characters to a casual audience, but yet you gave no background to them.
But not
Yes.
only
Like,
that,
you
not only
just-
that,
it-
but
yeah.
also they're also making the goo. So that's another challenge they have because the Birds of Prey had already existed in the comic books.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
But
in the comic book, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman had already had adventures together. So they had a story in place for that. Whereas even though the movie was not that good. But for Marvel, not only do they have to choose the characters to comprise the group, but then they have to give a reason for why the group is together in the first place. Whereas DC, they never really had to because that had already been covered.
Yeah.
right.
That's what
But now
go ahead.
go for it. And just now though, but this is gonna not fall in line with Marvel. This is falling in line with Sony. So
Yeah,
it's not even gonna be Marvel storytelling. It's gonna be Sony storytelling.
Which is
And
some of their characters they won't even be able to use.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then so that's the thing. That's why Spider-Man isn't gonna be involved in this because if he was, you know, then he'd be in the movie because again, they were introduced in his comic. Even just a short cameo would suffice, but that's not even the case.
Well,
Like, if you
they're
think of-
allowed to use Tom Holland Spider-Man in any of their movies.
Yeah, but the thing is because
They
of
don't want to.
they don't want to because they want to derive their own storytelling
Yeah.
and separate from the MCU.
They want
Right.
to be able to stand on their own 2 feet with these characters. That's like, and they're reaching when it comes to this to the Spider-Man franchise. And the Spider-Man
Yeah, they are.
franchise is rich. For example, it's the same as Batman and
Right.
Spider-Man. Right?
It's I think Batman and Spider-Man have like the best rogues gallery and
Exactly.
comics history.
Absolutely. But you know, when it comes to and I think that's the point I wanted to make is the fact that, you know, through the years, you know, Catwoman was introduced as a villain, but through the years the character grew, right? You had Corey Starfire introduced as a part of a team, but over the years character grew. You have Batwoman, that's the best, like Barbara Gordon, right? Introduced as Batgirl, grew incredibly in the comic books to the point that she's absolutely pivotal in the Batman family, right? But these female characters, unfortunately, through the years, they haven't grown as much.
Right, exactly. And that's the main problem. They kind of
Yeah.
just stay love interest, sex symbols, stuff like that. And just kind of they just can't they
Well,
get sprinkled out to me.
I would say Silver Sable fits that more than Black Cat because Black Cat's been having a lot of ongoing series and especially she's had her own series. Silver Sable has kind of been in the back burner. I mean, they used her for that trash ass DLC in Spider-Man.
Yeah. And by the way, she looks really old in that.
Yeah, and I don't know. It didn't. They always keep her like kind of like in the back burner for filler, while
Mhm.
Black Cat does come into play when something like when Peter doesn't have a love interest anymore. She steps in, or
She filled the gap.
or she fills the gap, or she has her own storyline where she's doing her own shit, like basically like Catwoman, where she has her own storyline and she's doing her own thing. She doesn't need to have Spider-Man there. Silver Sable, on the other hand, that is a far reach because she's not that much even in modern comics right now.
I mean, we'll see if they can like do a Guardians of the Galaxy.
with
Hilarious.
2 characters. And the other thing is like, why? What does Silver Sable and Black Cat do? Black Cat, as far as I know, embodies the cat burglar, right? And
Right.
Silver Sable is a mercenary.
Right.
Okay. I just hope that Sony doesn't say, okay, we're just going to have a, movie. It's going to be a movie about a crime heist because one is a mercenary and she's tough with guns, and the other one she tries to steal something.
I think
Let's
that's
go
gonna
with
be
that.
the first connection. I just feel it.
I don't want them to do. I don't want to cheap out. Like if you really
Right.
want to back this character, do it right.
Right.
I think they're not gonna do it right, especially Black Cat.
Right.
I just want to see what the story is gonna be. What's gonna be the main boss, because it's all about that. And I don't know if they can use the bosses from Spider-Man, right? The
Well,
Spider-Man story.
They could use the villains from Rogue Galleries to introduce them, like Craven, for
Right.
example.
Oh yeah, right. They wouldn't use that character for that. That would be their biggest mistake in the world.
They could. That I would venture. Like my pick is, if you want a movie with these 2 characters, the best villain to go with would be Chameleon.
I could see that. I could see. Yeah, I could see that. I could see Chameleon there. I could also
Nice,
see.
basic, not too. It's a very safe choice. That's what I would
Right.
say. That.
I could also see Kingpin.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Kingpin, to be honest.
Yeah,
But-
because I mean, if you think about it, it has to do with like a pivotal, villain that like has wants control over the whole city, and Black Cat lives in the city, and Silver Sable kind of like is the mercenary in the city, and they probably have to do something against Kingpin. But
Kingpin kind
I-
of person hires Silver Sable.
right,
That's
but
big, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you wanted a very big, compelling villain, I think Kingpin would have been the choice. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a B villain or a C villain that's very obscure. They're gonna reach in that bag, and you're not gonna know who the fuck they are. Well, casuals aren't gonna know who they are.
I think it depends because it's like when you said Kingpin, right? I'm thinking like it makes sense for Spider-Man because Spider-Man doesn't kill people. Silver Sable don't care.
Yeah.
She doesn't care. She's going to
Yeah.
shoot him. He cannot live a
Mhm.
bullet. And so it's like I don't know. They would probably have to reach pretty deep in there. I
Right.
could see like maybe Doc Ock or someone who's strong enough to be like
Doc Ock again.
I'm not gonna be there.
like,
I'm
that's like
sorry.
someone who's strong enough to be like immune to bullets, or maybe Rhino. Someone that's strong enough to be like immune to bullets and still put up a challenge.
Call Paul Giamatti.
Nah.
Let's get him on the phone. And by the way, like, this is actually a good transition. Give me a sec. Firework. Yeah. Did you guys hear that DC, because they're trying to build a DC multiverse, right? They are in talks with Michael Keaton to bring him back as
Yep.
Bruce
Mhm.
for Batman
Flashpoint.
Beyond kind of like thing.
All right, Batman. Yeah.
That's all.
That
Yeah.
is awesome, dude.
Yeah, that'd be great. And
Too funny.
see, but my only thing is that I'm scared what they'll do with the Batman Beyond, because I have such a nostalgia for Batman Beyond. Like, I grew up with that animated series, and it's like one of my favorite ones. And I feel like they're gonna like go balls to the wall with like technology and shit like that. When it wasn't, they're gonna focus
They're
on like
gonna
the
ruin it.
world, and they're not gonna focus on the character.
Character
That's
Batman,
what I feel.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Batman Beyond, especially recently, has become a mainstay in the comic books, right? Because before
Right.
it was always a nice story, but now it's actually been incorporated and it's canon, and it was brought into the fold, right? To the point that it gained more popular. I would say, I would venture to say it's more popular now than it was when the series was on.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it got reignited when Justice League did that cap on his storyline. You know, like the actual animated series never ended his story, and so people
Yeah.
were like left wondering. And Justice League, capped his story, and knowing that he was Bruce Banner's, Bruce Banner, Bruce Wayne's clone,
Yeah.
and just illegitimate son.
Elementary,
And and so with Amanda Waller, and that was such a compelling way to end that story. And I don't know, I just hope they don't fuck it up because it is WB.
I mean, look, yes, right? It would have to kind of f it up now because because Amanda Waller is black now, right?
Amanda Waller has
And
always been black.
That's what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah.
like they're gonna probably choose a mixed person, and people are not gonna like it.
I
or
mean,
hate it.
unless they use the same actor. What's her name? Viola Davis, who played Amanda Waller in Suicide Squad. I think she made a really good
Yeah, she did a
Amanda
great job.
Waller. Yeah,
Yeah.
she did a
We're
really good job.
We're at dinner, and then in that movie,
Mhm.
was it? Who was it? When they tried to tie it together, they were Bruce Wayne and Amanda Waller in the restaurant.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You say that was the time.
yeah.
So,
I don't know. I think Batman Beyond can be DC's
Saving grace.
into the Spider-Verse, you know? It could
Oh,
be
I
a
could see,
chance.
yeah, I could see.
It could be a chance for them to create something new. It's a clean slate, you know?
Mhm.
Go to that route, leave Snyder cut in the past, right? Let's try something new and then work your way back. You know, some maybe, but like it was said before, the problem is that the studio is still the same.
right.
Right. And I feel
By the way, Anders, take a look at this image.
Jesus Christ. It's such a fucking good idea. But I feel but if they do really well with this movie and they make a second movie, I really hope they do the Batman Beyond movie
Yeah.
where Joker comes back and
As
and-
one of the Robins, so it's called.
Just him.
right.
Yeah.
And he and Jack Nicholson plays the Joker.
No,
Look,
look,
you prize that role though?
right now, did you guys see the reviews for what's the name of this? Doom Patrol?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
saw
haven't
first
seen the reviews,
That
but it's
shit-
always got really good perception.
Yeah, that shit is good. Right?
Mhm.
So, like, right now, they were talking about this in different media where everything that's Marvel related is essentially halted, right? All the
Right.
TV shows, if you think about it, WandaVision should have been out. Same thing for Bucky, the Winter
Right.
Soldier,
With
and
the
the
order, yeah.
Falcon. Yeah, the new one. That one should have been out already too, but it's not. We like the DC train keeps rolling, but the Marvel train's still at the station. So right now they have an advantage in the sense because Warner has studios. They can film in backlots, right? So they can take advantage of that. Disney doesn't have that, unfortunately. So they're essentially stuck. And this goes back to an earlier podcast that we had where we said, well, if a movie studios has a backlot, they can essentially control the environment and resume filming slowly, but they can resume it. And this is what's going on with Doom Patrol. Like they're filming, they're releasing, everything is all like on board. So hopefully, they use this time to pick up some momentum and do something great with Batman.
I mean, no, I mean the thing is that when it comes to DC's on a TV and animated series stuff,
They're
It's
really good.
amazing. It's just the movies
Yeah.
are terrible.
Yeah.
The movies are just god trash. It's like sometimes you just think like, what were you thinking? Like, why would you do that?
And it's so weird that they have such a good TV and animated like studios that can tell compelling stories, and yet WB doesn't use that resource for their movies. Like the resource is right there,
No, because the thing
Yeah,
is,
and you don't use it.
I don't think the movies are bad because okay, I guess the writing is bad too, but
Yeah,
because like when it came to the movies, it seems like their goal was to compete with Marvel. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Just wanted something. They wanted the DCEU. They while to compete with the MCU, and I think that was dumb. I thought from day one what they should have done was they should have built up the DCEU. That way the train was rolling or the ball was rolling. But when the Thanos arc ended in the MCU,
yeah,
because what happened is that if Thanos arc was over in the MCU, people are going to be like, oh, what's going to be the next big one? Then they would go to DC. But because DC messed it up, now everyone's just like, I can't wait until what happens with Marvel next. So now people are willing to wait a couple years for Marvel instead of just going straight to DC like they would have. And
Hmm.
so I think that was the biggest mistake they made. And I think what's her name, Patty Jenkins, the person who directed Wonder Woman,
yeah,
she was right when she told him, hey, you should wait on the movie because rushing into this is kind of how they ruined it already because the Justice League should not have happened until after the Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman all got their origin, and
Right.
then
yeah.
then it should have been Justice League. But Justice League happened before like the Flash, the Cyborg. Uh, I guess Superman technically got his. Batman was his Batman versus Superman, but he
Man, yeah.
so half the team really didn't even get theirs before they went into the team up movie, and everyone was like, "Who's this guy?" So they had to tell all these origin stories inside of the movie, which only made the movie slower and worse. And so
Yeah,
I think they really dropped the ball on that because they tried to rush.
yeah. They try to take shortcuts, and then that never works.
Exactly.
Because look at the Doom Patrol. Honestly, like and not like I never gave a damn about the Doom Patrol, right? At all. But
Just
I
like
recognize,
yeah,
yeah,
heroes.
yeah. But I recognize their story, and Cyborg's not even supposed to be one of them, right?
Right.
Beast
But
Boy is
yeah, Beast Boy is originally, and then he moves to the Teen Titans, correct? And then but the story essentially is it's quite compelling, right? And you are allowed, like by doing this in TVs and episode, you allow people to get acquainted with these superheroes, right? Which nobody knows: Robot Man, Negative Man, Elastic Woman. But now you have a connection, and when you see them on the big screen, you have a draw, which is what they didn't do because very few people outside comic book world knew about Cyborg, for example, when it comes to Justice League, and they had to learn from him for the first time in the movie.
right.
People never
That's
saw Teen Titans. Damn.
I know, right? Like they
Teen
should have
Titans Go, Teen
beginning.
Titans.
but let's be honest though. The only good arc of the Teen Titans comic book was the Judas contract. Can you name another one?
Right. No.
No. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Judas Control.
No.
I'm talking about the Cartoon Network one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but even in the Cartoon Network, one, the best arc was the Judas contract. So it's just a constant thing where the highlight of Teen Titans was the Judas contract. Oh, here's Terra. Oh, Terra's dead. Kill his slave. Best part. Comic book, TV show, reboot TV show. It's always been the Judas contract. So most people just
Yeah.
don't care.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Yeah, they Doom Patrol kind of is essentially the Guardians of the Galaxy, where people did not give a fuck. They didn't know who those characters were. James Gunn did like an amazing job with them, and now the same thing is happening with Doom Patrol, where they're introducing new characters, and they're doing a good job because of the storytelling.
Yeah, but typical they develop the characters that nobody knew. That
Also-
just make it so good.
An interesting point is that so you know how who's the head of the Doom Patrol?
The doctor in the wheelchair.
Yeah, the
Right.
doctor in the wheelchair, right?
Yeah, I
And
forgot.
and essentially the doctor in the wheelchair, like Dr. Magnus, he heads a group of misfit, and then to teach them how to be heroes, right?
Oh, it's the X-Men.
Exactly. So like when it comes to timing, like it is suspected that the X-Men were essentially a copy of the Doom Patrol, but the X-Men ended up coming out first and becoming more popular.
It's
And
possible.
in their own right.
Yeah, I mean, because they do that at comic books. Like Deadpool was a copy of Slade.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure Black Cat was a copy of Catwoman.
Thanos.
Right. They do it all the time. Yeah. It's just a lot of these
Yeah.
artists went back and forth between DC and Marvel.
Yeah, so like they have the stories. Hopefully they do something good because like when you look at this, when you have something like this, it's just you want it to be good so bad.
Mm-hmm. So bad.
And then if you look at the library they have, like DC has heroes that are so much untapped potentials, the new gods, right? You have
Right.
Mr. Miracle, Orion, the All Father. Do you have Dr. Faith? Dude, I would say if DC wanted to make a movie about a female character solo, go with Zatanna. All you
Yep.
need.
Wonder Woman.
Like
Ghost
no,
of Wonder Woman.
Zatanna is so much. Okay, whatever. We'll leave it there. Dude, Zatanna is so important.
Yeah, she is.
They have what's her name, Huntress. They have a lot of.
I never liked Huntress because she was really mean to Dick Grayson, which is my favorite character in the DCU.
Scarlet Witch. The purple version of Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, well, the powered down version too.
It powered down, yeah.
Yeah, severely powered down.
Severely, yes.
So
All
we're
right,
gonna,
do you guys want to talk about the
the
third-party
games.
developers wanting more money?
Games. Does that make sense? Is now a PS5 and Xbox X equivalent to the PC platform?
So what does make sense, right?
No, the prices
I need to hear this. What's up, Ray?
doesn't make sense. I said.
What does it
I'm-
make sense?
here?
No. I just woke up. Anyways,
It's a ghost, my guy. It's a ghost.
no. But yeah, go ahead, take the phone.
No, what doesn't make sense?
Go, Ray.
No,
go.
it doesn't make sense. Obviously, the fact that they charge you $7 more for same game that I could get on PC and be able to enjoy more when it comes to because obviously a PC is more powerful than any other console out there, especially now with the PS5 and the Xbox X that's coming now. Is that the reason why they're increasing the prices? Is because now they're saying, "Oh, look, but just as good as the PC, if anything better."
Ooh,
No.
well,
I mean, when it comes to the
they're-
overall experience.
Wow, they've been trying to do it for a
They
while,
actually try to do it this generation.
right? People are just
I think one of the higher ups of PlayStation came out with a statement and said, "Look, we haven't raised our prices for 15 years. It's been $60 as of 15 years ago, and it's just about time that we raise prices, especially going into the new generational era."
Sounds like
And-
my landlord.
I don't give a
right.
fuck.
And so that's their excuse, but I mean their excuse isn't compelling when you're saying that we're going into a new generation, so we have to we're using more powerful assets or whatever the case is, when PC's been doing it for years. So
Right.
why hasn't PC charged us inflated prices if that was the case?
too much competition.
Yeah,
But-
if they do
Right.
that, they don't get money.
Exactly.
Put in perspective, right? We live in California. Okay, all of us live in California. If they charge $70 for a game,
now.
that means for us to buy a brand new game, we have to pay $77, almost $80, because we got a 10% sales tax.
Right.
Right.
And so we're gonna have to pay almost $80 for this game.
I'm
Now,
okay
to
with
be fair, games back in the day used to cost about $80 to $100.
that. Yeah.
But at the same time, this is ridiculous because it's just like, I understand games are getting more expensive, but these companies aren't paying their employees more. Like, and I think that's the thing that pisses me off the most. All these companies, even on ones outside the gaming industry, they don't pay their employees more, but they want to raise the prices with the cost of living, right? But it's like, but they can't
Yes.
give the employees
Which
a
is a
cost,
crazy amount, yeah.
right? And it's just like, because I think what Activision just did it recently where they fired a whole lot of employees, right? I think it was like
Mhm.
700, and then
Yeah.
they put people same jobs but for lower salary. but now they're out here saying we need to raise the prices on games because we don't have enough money. And it was just like you just posted
Corporate
all
greed.
the jobs for low prices, so you don't want to pay them more, but you want to charge more like they get paid more. That's ridiculous.
So is it now compelling to get the new consoles that are coming out? Now that they're raising now the prices of the game so as well.
That's not really confirmed if they're gonna do it or not, but
Well, the
We'll
thing
see
is,
how people react now.
Well,
Okay.
it has been confirmed though.
right, one company, 2K, is actually doing it.
Yeah,
Because
they're actually
yeah,
doing
I
it.
tell you about 2K, the one who made the sports game,
Working,
2K 2K21, okay, NBA 2K21. They have 4 different editions, right? They
Mhm.
have the standard edition, they have the Black Mamba edition, one with the Kobe Bryant cover.
Mhm.
They have the PlayStation 5 edition of the standard, and then they have the Black Mamba PlayStation 5 edition. And
Right.
if you buy the standard edition for this generation for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, then it's $60. If you buy the Black Mamba edition, which is $100,
But they
then
always have
you
done
get
that.
no, but I'm not done yet. If you do the Black Mamba edition for $100, then you get the standard edition for the next generation for free. But if you don't buy the Black Mamba edition, you have to pay $70 for the PlayStation 5 version of NBA 2K21.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And that
for that.
and that doesn't even equate to the all the microtransactions that's gonna be
exactly.
in the game as
Include
well.
the game, yes.
Yeah, required. Yeah.
Dude, that's a crazy amount of money.
Like, and the thing is that people tend to forget that when it comes to gaming, this is one industry that, despite being associated with the highest level of technology, is essentially done by people, right?
Right.
These are not robots who are programming things. These are real people who are doing this, and they need to get paid a fair wage,
Right.
right? And when you move your business to California, Silicon Valley, etc., you're moving to an area where that has the highest cost of living in the United States, right?
Right.
And then you're trying to do this. It's just not fair. But what I'm afraid of is that people are essentially not going to care for that, and they're just going to, pay for it, and they're going to say, "Hey, you know what? They're just indie games, blah blah blah. Most of them are not even good, anyways."
What's going to happen is the same thing that happened with microtransactions, right? Because I said this when microtransactions came out. People have a limited amount of money. What they're going to do is that the games that are really, really, really good, those are the games that are going to get the sales. The games that are okay or like bad, they're going to just start dropping like flies. That's why you see a lot of companies starting to go under lately, because people only have so much money they can spend on microtransactions. So they're concentrating it towards the games they think are worth it. The high quality games that they know aren't going to be buggy, know aren't going to be glitchy, that they know is going to take up a lot of their time. Because if it is buggy or glitchy, they're going to feel like they wasted their money. And like this is one of the reasons why, as soon as COVID-19 hit, everyone said, "Screw it, I'm gonna go get the Nintendo Switch." You can get a PlayStation. You get a PlayStation 4 Pro for like $250 right now. You get an Xbox Series X for not Series X, but Xbox One X for about $250 right now. Way more powerful than Switch, but everyone went for the Switch because those are the games that have quality. So they'd rather spend all their money on that one. And by increasing the price to $70, all it's going to do is going to concentrate it even worse. And you're going to even have games that people really don't think are worth it just drop again. And it just they don't get it until it actually happens.
And it's really bad for them because those consoles like Xbox and PlayStation, they rely a lot of they rely on players trying new games, right? Because they don't focus so much on the legacy, just like Nintendo does. Like, as soon as you have a new console for Nintendo, Zelda, Pokemon. Sorry, Josh, no Metroid, but Mario guaranteed, right? Like, guaranteed, and you know what you're gonna get, right? Mario's going to jump. Mario's going to be Bowser, right? No, so they're gonna end up hurting because of this.
Yeah, every new IP that they can release, people are gonna think twice because it just hasn't been proven yet. And then, so what's gonna happen is that It's like me and Josh said when we were talking about this earlier. All we're gonna do is we're gonna wait till that game drops like $15 at GameStop, $15 at Target, $15 at wherever may sell it, and then you're gonna buy it. But I'm not gonna buy it day one because I'm not gonna pay $80 for it. And then if I waited for it to drop to 60, I can wait till it drops to 15. I can wait till it drops to 10. Right? It's like what's gonna happen is that a lot of companies are gonna lose sales.
And by the way, if you're gonna wait until GameStop has it, you might be waiting for a long time because I don't think that company's coming back.
All I feel like,
It'll last like another 10 years.
all
They're
I feel
good.
like all these companies that make different games, if there's gonna be survival of the fittest, basically, some of them are gonna go
No,
bankrupt.
they're gonna go. Go ahead. Sorry.
Some of them is gonna combine with other companies to stay alive. I don't know, but it just seems like it's just a bad move.
And
I mean, you saw.
some,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Ken.
Oh, because you saw what happened. I don't know if you noticed, but uh, Tom Clancy's Wildlands, right? Breakpoint. They had a Wildlands Breakpoint. And Ubisoft games are known to have hella microtransactions in it, right?
Yeah.
They released Breakpoint. Yeah, they released Breakpoint. So the first Wildlands was successful. They released Breakpoint with John Bernthal, the person who played the Punisher on a Netflix show,
Mm-hmm.
and it flopped. It flopped so hard they stopped production on all their other games just to make sure it was fixed. To wonder why, and it's just so they could figure out why and then fix it. But the thing is, how hard it flopped is unusual for a game of that status. But it's going to be commonplace as the prices go up.
Would it be
Nah,
better
this is
now just to get the online membership that all these like different developers are going to be offering for people to just download the game and play it? Would
Yeah,
that
it's
be
gonna
better now?
It's going to be way better. And I think the people who had that idea, especially Microsoft, they probably just saved a lot. They probably is going to stop the gaming industry from like going into another, slump like it did in the '90s or the '80s, I should say.
Yeah. It may, who knows?
In America, at least.
There may be a new player that comes in because right now we're stuck with the big three, right? Plus PC.
Nah, we don't need a fourth. Sorry.
No, like maybe one of the
We
big
really
three is
don't
going to go
Nah,
down.
big three ain't gonna go down. They got too much money. Like I can tell you right now, out of all three of them, Sony will probably be the first one to go.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo and Microsoft has got too
Sony.
much money. Well, Microsoft has way more than Nintendo, but
I think Nintendo, because Nintendo is so slow on the trends, their games are going to come out for $60 and they're going to, dodge the bullet for a while. And then Microsoft has Microsoft money, so they can do whatever the hell they want.
No, but I feel like
Yeah.
Nintendo's gonna
Sony's
get
the-
more. Nintendo's gonna get more people to buy their stuff because it's cheaper than the Sony games, which is almost $80. So there you go.
as long as their console appeals. Never mind. I was gonna say something, but the Wii U flopped anyway. So
So it sucks. We'll see what happens. I don't really buy that many games anyway, so it's not going to affect me all too much. I mean, I'm stuck with the legacy.
I don't mind waiting for that discount. I don't give a damn. I got games I need to keep.
Yeah, I mean, at
last
the
a
end of the
year.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you still have PC. You can buy a lot of games on PC. You're good.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, if you have free games on PC, you're good. You can even, you can even just wait to the end of the generation and play all the games you want.
Exactly.
It's up to you. And like just be like, I don't wait until PlayStation's like $100. Wait till all these games like $15, then play your heart out.
Yeah,
It's on you. Huh?
And also, since like a lot more people are coming to game on PC, most people will just play third-party games on PC and then just play first-party titles on like PlayStation or Xbox. Well, Xbox you can play on PC anyway, so you don't even need one. But PS5, those will probably be the only games they'll pay full price if they want to. Every other game is they'll just get a lower price on PC.
Right, because if you did play the PlayStation 4 era, you're in a good place right now. PlayStation 4 is like $250. You can get Horizon, one of the best games, for $10. Well, actually $8. You can get God of War for $8. Pretty much every god tier PlayStation 4 game right this second, you can get for less than $10. You're good.
And if you got a PC, you gonna get PS4 games on PC too. So
When?
Horizon comes out next month, bro.
Yeah, August.
Yep.
Yeah,
We already got
Horizon
Detroit on
2?
PC
Or
already. Too.
Horizon.
You're gonna see a lot of crossovers.
But
Yeah,
also
Detroit's already on PC.
Oh,
Horizon's
also,
coming out
Sony
next month.
offers a lot of games for free when every other month.
No, it's every month.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
month. Okay.
Well,
Oh,
every
and
month.
if anyone cares, Death Stranding is going to be on PC on the 14th of this month.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got PS4 games coming. So
All right. I'm happy that Josh is on the mic right now because I feel like we need to recharge our batteries, right? We need to start talking about, a couple of things that just gonna make us laugh. So for today's activity, right, we have two activities planned out. One is elaborate, but because I see a lot of people yawning, a lot of people, just tired. I mean, it is Friday and it's hot. I don't know about
Yeah.
you guys, but over here it's freaking hot.
really, it's alright in here.
Yeah, heat makes you
Yeah,
really,
it's alright.
Every dying here.
yeah, the heat makes you really sleepy. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
y'all
so-
live over there where
I thought
fucking hot.
I thought I heard freaking Ray snoring for a bit.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what?
No, because I'm out.
Max, don't you guys get like that breeze from the ocean?
Yeah, we do now, but there's a time where I think it's from 5 to like 8 that it's really hot, and then the breeze starts coming through. Like right now, I have a nice breeze going through the apartment. I'm good, but at the same time, I think Josh put us into a game that's called what's the name? What's the name, Josh?
It's called One Gotta Go.
One Gotta Go. Why don't you explain the rules?
It's self-explanatory. You gotta pick one out the list, and you gotta explain why it gotta go. But if you choose one, it's as if that selection didn't exist in history. So let's say for example, Radio Shack. What did Radio Shack make? Whatever. Oh, Toys R Us, right? You say you pick
Yeah.
Toys R Us. That means Toys R Us never existed, never had an implement in anyone's lives, all that crap. So you gotta think about that too. And you gotta explain why you chose that decision. Too.
So everybody has to pick one.
yeah, everybody got picked.
Okay.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh, that's funny. Yo, is that what I'm gonna look like in 10 years?
I mean, if you keep working out, like maybe.
Nah, fun.
Okay, so everybody has to pick one of them.
I like how you got the one with
Sorry, Josh.
No, that's funny. That's funny.
Get the
Yo, if I
first
got
round.
that brolic, bro, my life would be complete.
All right, so if you guys are ready, we can go to the first.
Oh fuck.
You guys good?
I'll go
ahead.
last. I came.
All right. So this was Josh original scenario. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Pick one that's gotta go.
We'll start with
Xbox.
Xbox.
Wait,
I'm
but
sorry.
who's we gotta go one at a time.
wait, is it Xbox, PlayStation, or
Yeah, it's Xbox, PlayStation, and it's
Oh,
or
just
is
the
it-
name.
or
I
is
thought
it
about the band.
Nintendo?
well,
Yeah,
let's keep it gaming. Let's keep it gaming.
Wait,
Okay. Xbox, PlayStation. Okay.
Yeah, let's keep it gaming. But you gotta explain
So-
why. So we'll go one at a time.
Okay, so
one go first.
let's go ahead. Start with Andres. Letter A.
that has to go.
But you
right?
remember, you have to think about it. If you eliminate them, you eliminate everything that Microsoft did for gaming.
Oh,
fine.
damn.
Okay.
That's
no,
fine.
they did a lot. They did a lot
Yeah,
for gaming. Just know that.
They did, but when it comes to legacy and when it comes to nostalgia and known characters, PlayStation and Nintendo has Xbox beat. It just there's so, I mean, you can attest it to now to PlayStation's exclusivity with their characters and Nintendo with theirs. And Xbox doesn't really, they have those games. It's just there's not a huge plethora of them. Maybe in the early years of Xbox, but as of now, like I mean, how many games can you say that is original creations of theirs and that isn't shared with any other platform?
Banjo-Kazooie,
it-
nuts and bolts.
That was first Rare. That wasn't Microsoft era.
Okay, Viva Pinata.
Okay,
That
hell
was
no.
good game.
Conquer Live and Reloaded.
No, because Conquer was first on Nintendo.
Wait,
Yeah,
is it
right.
Banjo Kazooie came out in Nintendo 64 though?
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with
Yeah.
giving up Microsoft too.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
most people
I
give up Microsoft, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, because
I won't though.
Okay.
Sony.
Yeah, Sony gotta go, fam.
I don't know
Alright,
about
I
that.
just gave his,
Ah,
I just
dude.
give it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let him make his case.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Give me
I when it comes to Sony
All right, but
and
what
its
has Sony done for gaming?
Nothing.
characters, they
No.
presented.
What has Sony done for gaming?
What do you mean? As in, oh, are we talking about our personal feelings? Or are we talking about just in gaming in general?
Both. You can incorporate both.
Okay, well, I'm talking about my personal thing.
Okay.
I'm a personal. So the personal for me is always been the characters and
Okay.
and story. That's what always compelled me to play a game. Like if you have a whack ass story and whack ass characters, I'm not gonna want to fucking play your game.
True.
It's not gonna interest me. It's not gonna compel me to go and buy out your game. Xbox did that for me only with Halo. That was like the major title where I'm like, fuck, I love this game. But outside of that, I mean, and other characters, but they acquired those characters. It wasn't something that they started off like Conquer and Banjo. Like those characters were acquired by them. It wasn't started with them. And so, but as
That's a
in
good point.
what if they've done for gaming as in those companies? I mean, Xbox has done a lot, and they've pushed the envelope, especially in the early years of Xbox. They've pushed that envelope so far up Sony's ass that Sony has always had to play catch up. That's why PlayStation 3 couldn't catch up with 360. They were fucking ass out of the race. But when it came to, and especially when it came to this generation we're still in, before we get into the newer generation, Xbox took a back seat. Like everything that they learned, they just were like, all right, we're cool where we're at, and PlayStation just kept going. They're like, all right, well, whatever you're gonna let us pass, cool, and they fucking took the generation by storm.
Yeah.
Who
You
else
know?
Kenneth, you want to go next?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I guess we'll argue about our points afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. I say Sony gotta go. PlayStation gotta go.
All
The
right.
reason why is because they keep it consistent throughout the years, and that's the problem. Like they just keep it. It's like Nintendo gave them a great idea in a PlayStation because Nintendo did create the PlayStation, and then
Mm-hmm.
they just kind of ran with that exact same thing for the last couple decades. And then like Xbox gave us online play. Like Sony and Microsoft, I mean, and Nintendo were completely caught off guard with that. I can't give it to Nintendo because Nintendo saved the gaming industry in North America, single-handedly.
Yep.
And so when I think about like, and then almost on top of that, like a lot of Sony games, they kind of just got lucky that Nintendo was such douchebags. Like, because if Nintendo weren't douchebags, then everyone would have stayed on Nintendo because that's what they wanted to be in the first place. You see story after story of all the developers saying like, "Oh, we wanted to go on Nintendo, but they chose to do X, Y, Z, or they were acting like assholes." Like Final Fantasy was supposed to be on Nintendo, but I mean Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be on Nintendo, and then Nintendo was being an asshole, and so they were like, "Screw it, we're just gonna go to PlayStation then." So I would say like Sony is the way that could go because it just doesn't. They just don't push the envelope. And then when it comes to Microsoft, I think if it wasn't for the 360, the PlayStation 3 would have been $600. I guarantee you. If it wasn't for the Xbox 360 coming out and be like, yo, $400, they like Sony would have continued that nut shit. I guarantee you.
Yeah, they would have.
And then on top of that, like they push the envelope so far with technology, it's forcing PlayStation to match them or lose. Because like they are competing for third-party games, right? If Microsoft comes out and they repeat what happened with the 360, Sony is in trouble. But if Sony keeps being like stupid and try to be completely like consistent the way they are without pushing the envelope, then they know it puts them in trouble. Like you see right now, Microsoft is making like Game Pass. You see like Microsoft is making Game Pass. Oh, Sony has nothing like that, right? They only have it for their old games. Microsoft has it for anyone who wants to be a part of it, and I think that's a better service. And as a result, Sony has to go to Microsoft for their cloud service, right? And so it's like I think when it comes to gaming, oh, I agree with Andres. I think Sony did more than Microsoft, but I think going into the future, um, Microsoft is
Microsoft.
going to pay more, and then going into the past, I think Nintendo did more for the gaming industry in the past. Xbox is still going to do more for the gaming industry in the future, and then Sony is just that one in the middle going, just release another one. Like, do they
All right.
like it? Yeah, like I think that's my opinion.
All right.
Go ahead, Ray.
Well, if I had to choose one,
Let's try to keep it brief so that we can
okay,
have time to go through.
Yeah, okay. So if I had to choose one, I would have to choose Xbox. Even though I think Xbox
Wait,
introduced me
but
to.
you don't play games, so does
Yeah,
it
no,
count?
no. The reason why I did play games sometime in the past. Now not anymore, right? But I mean, obviously, Xbox introduced me to online gaming when it comes to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1, and also Call of Duty 3. And another other original game they have is Gears of War, which is amazing. But when it comes to Sony, they also release a lot of I think more original content than Xbox did. And that's why I'm choosing Xbox to go. And obviously, Nintendo because of the whole nostalgia thing. That's cool, but just keep that. Even though I will also choose Nintendo to go. Uh,
Yeah, you're there for me, Nintendo's not going anywhere.
okay,
All right, Lou, you
okay.
want to take it? Go ahead.
Well, like I said, I'm not saying about a business perspective, but I would say about my personal feelings when it comes to the games. I play every single platform. I know.
Uh huh.
I would choose Xbox to go like completely for me.
Damn.
Even
Man,
though I had to,
y'all some fake ass gamers, bro.
even I had to kill Gears of War. I can't forget.
Yo, you killing Microsoft? You're killing a lot of features you love today.
Yeah,
Yo,
what you
that's
mean?
so true.
What about Crash Bandicoot? The story like the
Yo,
story
all these features y'all
No,
love.
No, no,
y'all
no, no! Don't
got
get me
that.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. The
Y'all
Xbox
don't have that. Y'all just
Xbox
got awful lot.
revolutionized. The whole like system interface of Xbox is way better than obviously Nintendo and Sony combined. I cannot argue that. I mean, like I would choose the interface of Xbox any fucking day because it's so easy to,
Well,
navigate through the system.
when it comes to
Well, Sony has never changed their interface.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
when
what I
it
fucking
comes
hate it.
to
It's so fucking old. It seems the same.
no, it's just how perspective, dude. Like for me, it was Nintendo was first, but then when Max had his own PlayStation first, PlayStation 2, I think he was
Uh-huh.
playing these sort of Calibur games. He was playing Street Fighter, which I was involved in it.
Yeah.
So Microsoft wasn't involved at all until like I was in high school, bro. So Microsoft could
What?
go to hell for I care when it comes to personal feelings. But when it
Okay.
comes to PlayStation, I'd rather stay with PlayStation than Microsoft. Even though I'm gonna kill some other games that are gonna come from Microsoft. It doesn't matter for me.
All right.
I mean, it's not all about the games. It's about what they brought to the table too.
So, in my opinion, so like this fight, if I would take it, I think when it comes to the Xbox 360, I think that generation was okay, but then they started, branching out and trying to connect one thing to another and one thing to another, and then like their phone and your account and all this and all that, all for really nothing. And we're also forgetting that Connect was a thing, was a huge fail, right? And
Actually, Connect was a success.
No,
Just
it was
yeah.
a
not
fail.
for game. It's not for the Xbox.
It was too bad, and it was a fail.
You
You're
can
Yeah.
use it for mocap. You can use
PlayStation
it for-
Eye was a fail.
right.
yeah, okay. So the Kinect camera is very useful, but the interaction that you would have, through the gaming. So like, yeah, there's innovation that Microsoft has done, but not all of it has been great. Sony has been able to be a console, and a console, that's it. Yeah, sure, you incorporate things here and there, but ultimately, I think when it comes to my experience as a gamer, when I had Xbox and I paid for Xbox Live and everything else, I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and kill Xbox. So the last word is to Josh, even though the
We already know
already decided.
All of y'all put your personal bias onto it, so y'all killed gaming. Thank you.
You said you can put both on it if you want to. So there you go. I went all out with personal feelings. Huh?
I only choosing Xbox. I mean, only choosing Xbox to go because of the original content they lack of. What else we have besides Halo and Gears of Wars?
Party chat, online,
Yeah, but I'm talking about
marketplace.
gaming content, original gaming content bring to the table. We had Nintendo, with their original content they bring every 2-3 years or whatever. But when it comes to fucking Microsoft, they only built on Gears and Halo for the last what until today.
Well, on 360, they had a lot of good.
Let Josh make his choice first.
I pick Sony.
Okay.
Yeah, I pick Sony. Like, yeah, sure, it's all like, it's all about gaming. At the end of the day, it's all about gaming. So features, whatever, all that stuff. But it's like, I'm gonna just go off what Ken said. Sony has kept the same formula from PlayStation 1 to now. And I know I get it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But when it comes to like advancing gaming, they haven't done anything. So if I got rid of them, we ain't losing. Well, yeah, sure, we're losing PlayStation games, which will probably have been on another platform because it's the developers that make those games, not PlayStation themselves. And then,
Wanted to be on
yeah,
Nintendo.
so like even if Sony did not exist, those games you're playing would have probably been on another platform, regardless.
Most likely the Dreamcast.
Yeah, probably would have been the
Yeah.
Dreamcast because that was the next best thing aside from the 64. So on top of that, if you get rid of Microsoft, you get rid of Party Chat, which is they invented it, online, being able to connect with everybody and all that good stuff. The way the marketplace works and all that stuff, they created this whole ecosystem that everybody uses now. That's how they created it. So if you remove that, from PlayStation and Nintendo. They ain't got that yet. So you can't, you know what I mean?
I mean that's why I said that Xbox brought a lot to the table because the interface,
Yeah.
the ecosystem.
But you mentioned, but all of you guys mentioned about the games. But those games would have ended up on another platform regardless because they just got bought by Sony. So Sony just said, make the game you want to make. That's pretty much
Well,
what they
wouldn't
did.
the Pirate Shop would be another platform too? If
No, the thing
Microsoft
is,
wasn't
like,
invested?
Sony doesn't really, like,
They don't
control
innovate.
developers like that. They let them make whatever they want to make. So if, like, let's say they went to Sega and Sega was the same way, and they're like, oh, yeah, make whatever you want to make. They would have just made Crash Bandicoot on the fucking Dreamcast. You know what I mean? They would have made if Dreamcast would have had.
Well, Josh, too bad it ain't happening. It didn't happen, so it went to PlayStation.
My
There you
name,
go.
dude, this is the reason why I'm choosing that. Like,
Yeah, that's what I
They
heard
innovate
is-
so much that they don't even innovate in games.
like if you got rid of them, you wanted them because of their games, it would have ended up on another platform. That's why I didn't choose them because they haven't advanced gaming.
It is
Advanced gaming.
it
Nintendo
is
did advanced
possible that like the Microsoft interface stuff that they created would end up eventually.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that because Microsoft did it so early, it ended up becoming a staple the way it did. Because it's one of those things where it's just like Nintendo and Sony in the PlayStation 3 era, in the Wii era, they had no plans to have online. You could tell because their online was trash, both of them, complete trash. Microsoft was the only one that had good online.
Even what is it, 7th gen? Last gen was 7th gen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the 360 era. PS3 online was hot garbage for the first year. Even the Wii, like, I mean, whatever online that thing had. and on top of that, Sony didn't even have party chat for like the first 2 years. Like, it was a lot of features that Microsoft had that
You had the
advanced
game
gaming,
content,
and Sony
though.
didn't.
You had the game
Sony
content.
didn't have games for the first 2 years of PlayStation 3.
It didn't matter. You had
Yeah.
God of War.
Yeah.
To be fair, the NES or the SNES did have online features. That's a fact. SNES had online features. I don't know if you guys knew how to use them.
No,
They did.
but it wasn't like online gaming though. That's
Right. It wasn't online gaming to the magnitude it is.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 did have online features. Again, don't know if you knew how to use them. The GameCube also had online features.
The Xbox One had online. That's
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
was. That was where Party Chat and the whole online gaming was created.
Xbox also had online features.
Bungie per se is the one that created Party Chat. So
Right. And so, yeah, it's true. Don't get me wrong. It is true. First of all this originated on PC. I'm just saying it. But it is
Fake savage right
so
here.
it is true that other consoles did have online features, but I'm just saying like when it comes to advancing the technology of gaming, I can't ignore just how much Microsoft did.
Well, too
Um,
bad you have to ignore it now, boys. For
yeah,
Oh,
because you're right. Sony, they did 100% keep it consistent. They had a lot of games. They had a lot of games, especially in the PlayStation 2 era. They were completely dominant. But at the end of the day, is that what you want for the next 50 years? Just a
Exactly.
couple?
Don't you
yeah,
want new
yeah,
stuff? You know
yeah.
what's funny? You know what's funny though? Sony's been doing the same thing for all these years, and they don't have one game in the top 10.
Yeah.
So me as a person, I think my first console was a Super Nintendo, and my
yeah.
mom saved up, I think, for 3 months straight to get a Super Nintendo that was at a gas station because gas stations used to sell Nintendos here out
No
in Cali.
way. Seriously?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
They used to sell them out like just in the back of the registers, and so my mom got like the Super Nintendo with the Duck Hunt guns, and it came included with Super Mario, and
Wait,
you know my
Duck Hunt. That's the regular Nintendo.
yeah, the Nintendo.
Yeah, that wasn't Super
right,
Nintendo.
That's
right.
not Super. Yeah.
No. So they had the Super, and then they had the regular Nintendo. They
Okay.
put it in 2 packs.
Oh.
So they like put like saran wrap to put both systems together.
Oh shoot, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Considering
then-
how much they go for now. Damn.
Right, and that's why mom saved up for 3 months straight, try to get me the system, because every time that we would go to that gas station, I'd be like, oh my god, and I didn't have a Nintendo, and so that was my first experience with gaming. I was like 4 years old, and ever since
Xbox came along
then,
and ruined it.
no. But I've had PSP, I've had Game Boys, I've had till this day I have Xbox, I have PlayStation, I have a Switch. I have all the systems, and I've always been a person that casually games, and I've never been biased like, oh, I'm a PlayStation boy, I'm a Nintendo boy, or an Xbox head, or whatever the case is. I've never been one to like one's better than the other. I've always, if I got a system, it's because I went for the games. I didn't
Right.
I didn't go specifically because of
That means you're a
whatever.
real gamer.
Right. And I get what you and Ken are saying when it comes to technology, because like I already had said, when it came to the Xbox and the Xbox 360, they pushed the envelope for every console maker that was out there.
Even
You know,
but
I-
even Nintendo innovates. Like that's I didn't say it, but that's another thing too, is that Nintendo and Microsoft, they innovate the most. Sony innovates
Right.
the least. Yeah.
Right. And then Nintendo innovates
It's
in the
funny.
creative, right?
Can I
And
say something?
yeah,
So everything Nintendo does, Sony does later.
right.
When Sony came out with the PlayStation, they didn't have analog sticks. When Nintendo came out with the 64, it had analog sticks. The DualShock was never around until Nintendo made the Rumble Pack.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing Sony did is create the bumpers. That's what they created.
And the separate sound chips.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like not aside from like their electronics and stuff like that. We're just talking about gaming right now.
Yeah.
No. They were they were the first console that had a separate sound chip.
No, I know.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. No, the CDs and all that stuff. That's all. That's a whole other topic thing. But yeah. So and then remember with the Wii, like they're like, oh, motion controls. We ain't gonna do that. The Wii was successful. Guess what, guys? We gonna have motion controls.
What?
We gonna have motion controls because that's what everybody wants apparently. So
All right.
they never innovate. They just copy.
But
This is
I
the
think
one
fact
time
that-
they're doing something different with the SSDs, but it's not like it's brand new. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's there. It's been there.
I like how Nintendo's just like sitting pretty, just like I'm gonna be okay no matter what happens.
They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm chilling. They're just arguing about
I
it.
mean, that's essentially how they are right now. Look at online. Everybody's been complaining about it since the inception of the Switch, and they're just like, We cool. We got games.
Yo, I think once they were getting third-party games, Nintendo's like, yo, we can chill. We don't need to release one game a month now because we got third-party games. So we just
Yeah, I
gonna lay
would say
back.
you want to play
Let the
online?
games come.
You want to play online? Just play Mario Kart. Just
You know the crazy thing
get
is
there.
third-party games on the Switch have better online than Nintendo games.
Yep. Yep.
They're
That's
so
a sad thing.
confident.
So stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, you guys want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah,
We have a few
Super Bowl.
scenarios.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys a choice. So we have movie studios, right? We have cartoon studios, or Pokemon. You pick, and I'll give it you.
This is Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Pokemon, easy one, right? Okay.
I think I know where this is going.
This is actually this is meant to be like an easy one. Let's see, Generations, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
One
So,
gotta go.
You didn't go to
Gotta go.
Chespy,
One
bye,
gotta
boy.
go.
Chespy, let's go. Goodbye.
Oh, damn.
What's-
I'm
what's
sorry. I
the-
can't get rid of Greninja. Sorry.
No, bro. You have Monkey,
All right.
Torchic, goddamn.
Yo, Gen 3 is one of the best like starters for me. Like aside from Gen 1.
Bro, Infernape? You gotta get rid of Infernape, dude.
Yo, I really
Infernape?
give it a.
Where are you
What-
looking
what
at
you talking
Infernape?
I really get.
Take a picture of this.
Fortnite is.
Oh yeah. I thought
Oh
you meant.
yeah.
Thought you meant Blaze again. Yeah, like what is it? This Gen 4 is Infernape, right?
Infernape.
Yeah.
Gen 4, right? Gen 4 is easy. Like really?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yo, because Gen 3, all three of them were good.
Okay, let's
You
just go. Keep it brief so we could get through all the stuff.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Go.
Gen 4. Why? They're trash. Gen 3 had all the best. Look, all three of them were good, and then everyone liked all three of them. What is it? Gen 7 is all about Greninja.
Just six.
6,
Okay.
oh, whatever. It's all
Six,
about for
right?
me. It's all about Greninja. I
All
like Delphox too, but I don't like Chestnut that much. But whatever. But yeah,
but Quilladin is ruined, so we can't get rid of it.
Get rid of that ass.
oh, Gen 4. Goodbye. That's my take. They're trash.
All right, Andres, you wanna go next?
Gen 6. Just gotta
Gen
go.
6. Damn.
Yeah, one Pokemon does not tell
That
the whole
one
roster.
Pokemon is better than all three of them.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So then
But the
what the
thing is, but the one with Chimchar and Piplup
Turtwig.
and Turtwig, their final evolutions have great designs, and you
No.
look at Froakies, and Froakie has the best line out of all of them. Maybe you can say the grass starter and that one has a nice design as well. But again, Froakie kind of carries that whole thing. You want all three kind of to carry that.
But
well.
all three of these Gen 4 are not that great.
I'm not saying they're great. I'm saying to
No,
me
even
as an artist,
design-wise.
design-wise, for me as an artist,
I mean,
what
the
I like and I
idea
think and it's
of the
cool
island
is
cool.
dope.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Andres says Gen 6. Go ahead, Ruben.
I just had to
I'm
say,
going all the way to Gen 6. Get the hell out of here.
Wow.
dude.
That's
Yeah,
crappy ass game.
Okay.
Even the story is great though.
You can
but
get rid of
that's-
Ash Greninja. You know that, right? Damn.
Okay, Ray. What about
You're
you?
getting rid of
the-
megas.
That motherfucker, let him go. So that doesn't even count.
Okay, Ray. Yeah, sure.
Just pick Gen 6 because I never got played. I never played with them, so I don't know what the fuck. I mean, since obviously these new Pokemons they look like trash. So just go.
Hey, deep play.
Because
That's
Gen 4,
heavy.
Gen 4 was the only one. That's the last one I played with. So I was like,
Okay, so Gen 6 for Ray too. What about you, Max? Which one?
I'm actually gonna second Josh's opinion here, and I'm gonna go with Gen 4. Like honestly, I actually like some of the Pokemon from Kalos, and I think that the idea of Megas is the best thing that they've done, because we all know the Z moves are trash and the Gigantamaxing is garbage. So, yep, I'm keeping that Gen.
It's what do you call it?
I'm
3-3.
getting rid of Gen 4 too.
So it's 3-3.
Jeff,
This is just the starters, right? Not the whole game.
Yeah, that's what I had
No,
thought.
no,
If it was
this
the whole
Okay,
game,
but like Game 6. Oh, no.
Because I was just going with just the starters. Not
Yeah,
the
so
whole
was
game.
I.
Even
I
if it's
thought
just
it
the
was
starters, I'll
the
keep
Okay,
it.
so just the starter. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
just
don't get me wrong. Gen 4, easily one of the most complete Pokemon games you ever played. Had everything from the earlier gens. Had the most legendaries out of everyone. It was a fantastic game that you should play. But with those starters, they were just booty.
Yeah, I
Hey.
never felt any of them, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, like you know, in every Pokemon game, you keep one of the starters in your party throughout the whole entire game, right? In
Yep.
Gen 4, I didn't give a fuck. I left them on.
Really?
I love the Empoleon and Inferno designs, and I kept them there. Like they had such amazing designs that I didn't give a fuck about their stats.
It's actually funny because I actually, now that you mention it, I actually used Roselia more than the starters. I actually, oh, yeah,
Roserade is bomb in that game.
Right.
I liked Roselia more than the starter.
Wait, so we have a 3 versus 3 vote.
Yeah.
So is anybody gonna break the tie?
Oh, everybody already voted.
Yeah, we voted.
3 on
Alright.
Gen 6, 3 on Gen 4.
Oh, dude, okay, we're gonna do a wild card then.
The Chester could go suck my nuts.
Like this.
What?
It was a disappointment to me because it didn't have day and night. It only had weather. Gen 6 was hella incomplete. I'm not gonna lie, that game was rushed. You could tell.
If we're going by games,
Yeah, if we're
I would
going by
give it-
games,
if I would
So
give it a
to
game,
move
it
on-
would be Gen 6.
To move on,
If it's by
I'm-
starters, it's Gen 4.
I brought an outside party just to pick her favorites. Go ahead, honey. Which one gotta go?
Wait,
This
that has to go?
Has to go like one generation. One of these sets.
Oh. Well, Mudkip's safe. But what is that squirrel thing?
Okay, that's it.
That's
6
gone.
gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, boys. Get the hell out of here. Too bad,
Okay.
boys.
I
Gen
mean,
6, get the hell out of here.
Wow.
I don't feel no remorse. I don't feel
Balls.
anything. Dude.
Oh,
Good story out of all.
Look, Froakie was a good sacrifice for the all 3, okay?
just for that sake.
Because Chestnut, when I start Chestnut, I was like, oh, this gonna be my homie. But when I was start playing with him, bro, I took him out. I withdraw him from my party completely out. All right, be with Radicate and goddamn this thing.
Okay, what do you guys want to? I'll give you another 3 to choose. Again, cartoon studios, movie studios, or sports.
Let's go sports.
Sports. Oh wow, I didn't. Okay, so this is sports and including everything associated with them, right? Like, for
Okay.
example, soccer, World Cup, basketball, the finals, and whatever the hell football has.
Wow,
Whatever the
NFL,
hell.
No, I know the Super Bowl.
So-
I get it.
the Super Bowl.
So let's go ahead with our resident sportscaster here, Ray.
What about it?
Which one's got to go?
Wow, Ray's
Are
gonna
you
have
not gonna
to
show
see-
anything?
Yeah, we
Alright.
don't see it.
We don't see. You guys don't see it?
No.
we don't see anything. Yeah.
Aw. Okay. I hope it's not.
I thought you just stopped moving little things.
No. Hopefully, they didn't do it again where I stopped sharing for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is gonna be hard though. If it's like soccer, basketball, or football, I think football has to go.
I would because I would choose
Okay.
baseball every time.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Can you see it now?
Yeah, if baseball was on there, we would have to get rid of baseball.
Can
I can't see it.
Now or
No,
no?
I can't.
No. It's
Okay,
not.
let me just jump off Skype and then jump back in.
Yeah, you're right.
I just feel like we're gonna say football, all of us. Solid.
technical difficulties.
Yes. Because I know Kiddo say like, oh, NFL has to
We
go.
play football all the time.
Well, Kiddo say, we'll say that. Because Black Mamba matters. Dude.
All right, I'm back. I don't know if Skype only allows you to share for so long.
Skype is jank sometimes.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, we're back.
Better keep it brief, that we can get through all this.
Keep it brief.
All righty, Ray. Which one do you eliminate?
This shit is hard though.
What is this? What is this? Soccer,
Soccer,
football?
basketball,
Soccer,
and football.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That shit is
basketball.
hard, bro. If one has to go, fuck, I can't live without
Damn.
Kobe and Lakers. Actually, I can't live without the Lakers.
This is easy for me.
Why are you gonna
Definitely
choose
easy.
football? Yeah, fuck, man.
See, I wanted to put this one for that reason.
Nah, you should have put golf in this as fourth or something.
No, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
get
obvious,
That's an easy out.
Yeah. All right,
If
so
I wanted, I would have put baseball for all three.
all right, I look. If I had to choose one to go, I would choose the NBA. I would choose I'll choose basketball.
Okay.
I don't like.
And that means we don't get Jordans. Shit.
They're softy, bro.
Yeah, I like my Nikes, man.
I mean, look. You only have a couple people who are rough. Then the
I
rest
like
are
my
just
Nikes.
most
man.
multiple players. They get like all bitchy about when you fucking elbow them or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next. You're not supposed to be
Okay.
over people,
Look
but
at it. Fancy one.
Kenneth. All right, Kenneth is the second sports fan here.
I'm not. Oh, I would have to choose football. I didn't say American football. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, I'm biased.
No. But no, that's the right one. No, you were right. You're right. Well, it's just that like I can't deny how big soccer is in the world. It's easily the most
Just because of that.
yeah, and then I think basketball, even
Can I
basketball,
change? Can I change my?
is more popular in the world.
No, you can't.
Ken-
Hey,
Kenneth,
hold
on.
Kenneth's changed his mind after he saw that Maradona card from last
Yo, how much?
You
How much
know
the
what?
soccer World Cup? How much like money and viewership
Billion.
does that bring?
You know what? I
Yeah.
fucked up.
billion.
Yeah,
Billions of dollars, son.
because people all over the world watch it.
Yeah.
Football is mostly just an American thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so even basketball is popular in like China and France and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually
NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say the
Other countries was like, oh, football, we'll make rugby. It's better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, American football is really only popular like what Canada, Mexico, the United States.
UK now.
Like,
North
Yeah.
America.
UK
Right.
now, then Canada, and then we go back to Spain. They're building their own team.
so it's like it's one of those things where it's obvious it's gonna be
Soccer is most likely the biggest sport in the whole world right now. So
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
It is.
Now, who's next? Who's
Always
next?
been, Josh.
You always been, yeah.
It's shit for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Called the World Cup.
I know. Everything
I
else
mean,
is
baseball
just
got
final.
the World Series, and
Yeah, but it did.
That's not really the world.
Primarily, yeah,
no, I
it
don't
is.
mean that. I
Primarily,
don't mean that series. I mean like
They
when
got,
they have
they got
other
a few
countries
guys
going
from
at
other
each other
countries that
every
are
4 years.
playing in American teams, but that's it.
No, I mean
Right.
like when every 4 years when all the countries play baseball against each other.
that's the Olympics.
No, it's not the Olympics.
No, I'm playing. I'm just messing with you.
All right,
okay,
Josh.
okay. I thought you were being
Let's do
serious.
Josh. Let's do
All right,
Josh.
Josh, go for it.
Well, if we're talking about like in terms of like popularity and what affects more, I give it a football, American football. But if we talk about my personal bias, I give it a soccer because I don't care for it.
And they go
okay.
I grew
That's
up playing basketball, football, and baseball. And when I was a kid, I was a sports head, and that's all I watched. I didn't give a damn about soccer. I found it straight boring. I didn't care a damn. So that's my choice.
That's America.
I didn't care until I saw those Brazilians.
Even
get
if I wasn't American, I'm Dominican, so I play baseball.
Yeah, pretty much. He's
All
from
right.
New York too. New York.
New York.
Andres?
Andres?
Football has to go.
That was
There you
fast,
go.
Still. Goddamn.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. We don't talk about that. No,
So
never
we got
mind.
we,
Never
we,
mind.
we with Central Americans. They're not gonna pick soccer over football.
I mean, yeah, it's that skewed here.
Yeah, but not only that, but football is also known to cause a lot of brain injuries, where the other two don't really have that problem.
right.
So
That's why I wanted
I-
to change my mind. I fucked up. I didn't.
And
Okay,
I,
right.
yeah.
You want to change your mind? You go ahead. You can.
No, I'm not changing it.
No,
Okay.
let's keep it like that. I fucked.
All right.
I
that's
mean,
fine.
I gave 2 reasons why I would give it a either or. So
Yeah.
yeah, mine. I just never had it. I've always played football, but I never had an affinity to them because like I grew up in LA and we really didn't have like an LA team like back in the 90s. We had the Raiders and then they left. and so it was
I
just
mean, we
like,
had the LA
the
Rams
only
now.
reason why I picked
yeah, they came back. I mean, that
LA Rams.
again, I didn't grow up with them because we didn't have a team.
Yeah.
The whole
And,
thing.
and
So
you
I
know,
never. Yeah.
and addressing the bias, both Ray and Ruben played football for a long time during high school.
yeah, that's why I picked.
Right.
Well,
So like there is love for the game.
I let my personal
And-
feelings get in the way. Go ahead.
And if it's my turn, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick football too. You know, I simply because what Ken previously addressed is the fact that out of all of these sports, I think this is the one that needs the most innovation in order to make sure that their players are safe. But yet you don't see them doing anything substantial.
I mean, they're doing the thing about concussion. They make it like players retire before they end.
I'm not gonna lie, soccer takes some fucking skill.
Well,
Yeah.
look at number 59, the Panthers. Luke Kuechly, who retired because of concussion matters.
That's the thing. Like any sport that can give you that much head trauma, I think there's just honestly, I would say it shouldn't even be a sport.
Yeah,
Like it's just like, it's like such like a high rate of that kind of head trauma. It's just like, yeah, I'm American, yeah, I play football, but I'm like, nah, I can't. As a human being, I can't endorse that kind of damage.
Yeah.
Well, since it's my ball now, I will just put the NBA. Because to be honest,
There you go, right and Ray again. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, it's not that. It's just
wait,
that
you already voted, Lou.
I didn't vote at all.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay, so NBA, got it.
NBA. I know it's a bunch of injuries in the football. It just when it comes to basketball, I never felt the passion of it. I never felt like, oh, this is the best team. All I know is like, oh, go with the Lakers. About that when the Lakers go with the Lakers.
You live in LA, go with the Lakers.
Go with the Lakers. Or
It's because they weren't
don't go to
the game.
You know, I tried to do the same thing with the Dodgers. I went to a Dodger game. My God, regret it.
No,
It's not because I
there's
hate them, because just like the people there, like, oh, we go there just to cheer them on. Like, it's boring as fuck. No one's even watching the game. They're all talking about some other bullshit. Whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
as a little bit as what Ray's saying about their little like I would just say no weak, but their persona is like cocky as hell.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I don't like that type of game. Football instead, I know it's like you get a bunch of injuries, million injuries. Well, that's
Did
the
this
only
fool just say they're not that football's not cocky?
Oh yeah.
football. You could beat the crap out of the other person.
Yo,
Oh,
they
no,
show
just
both
like-
all the
they're-
time.
they're by-
guys.
There could
Nah.
be concussions.
They can't
They
beat the
can,
shit out of them.
they
That's
can.
that's the NHL. You can
Oh,
abuse.
Ruben's in favor of the old Roman days. He liked the gladiator.
He's in for the rugby area. Okay, we can move on. And next three choices. What happened? Oh, I already did. Yeah. Next three choices again: cartoon studios, movie studios, or anime series.
Anime series.
Let's damn.
Let's
Let's go movie studios first.
I'm sorry.
I
know
said
this
anime.
last
Yeah,
anime, yeah.
Ruben.
Anime? I guess we're doing anime.
Okay.
That's me in 5 years, yo. Give me some time.
It's my splash page that divides everything.
I'm getting rid of everything.
I was just happy you had a picture on your Instagram that had like that
Oh,
straight.
you
because
went to my
on it-
Instagram to find it? Oh, that's-
Yeah. Because like all of your pictures are from the chat tot profile. Like what?
yeah.
Imagine if that was that's Josh's profile on Instagram.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. I gotta take a picture of this. I have to-
Just send it to him,
Hold
bro.
on.
Just
Yo,
send it.
Yo,
Just
instead of him
ask him
holding
for a
the fish,
picture. You don't want.
yo,
that.
instead of him holding the fish like this, he's just gonna kiss the fish. Like,
Girls, Josh is gonna slide in girls' DMs and say, "I'm inevitable, girl."
Yo, that's a good one.
Oh, hell
shit.
no.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, it's just,
I
Oh,
know
this
which
is easy.
yeah.
go ahead,
Easy, bro.
Let's do Rupert first because he's the fanatic.
Okay,
Okay,
Otaku first.
I cannot drop my Holy Bible, Dragon Ball Z. I can't. It's impossible. Cowboy Bebop, really fucking good show. I love it.
Show.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah.
Just like it's an
One
anime
Piece
series.
got go to hell, boys. Yep, right to hell. 1,000 episodes? Hell no. Get out. Yes.
You're out. Yo, this is easy. This is not even hard.
Yeah. I
This
thought
is
I was
so
gonna put Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and what do you call it?
I don't want. I didn't want to do Pokemon twice. You know.
Hey,
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
Suicide.
All right. Next person, whoever wants to take it. Want to go, Ken?
Sure. One Piece.
Definitely.
I love Dragon Ball Z. I love Cowboy Bebop to death.
Damn.
But One Piece, man, look, when I started watching One Piece, okay, they told me that they need to get to the Grand Line, and I believe.
Okay, when I started watching One Piece, I was 5 years old.
Right.
I'm still.
And we went on the journey to the Grand Line, and then they deceived me, so I had to jump off the ship, and I've been sober ever since.
Damn.
You didn't like the Sky Island, anything like that, bro? You didn't like.
Wait, what happened?
I
don't
cut
know.
off. Oh, there we go.
Okay, good. You good?
I
You didn't like
All
the
right.
like the whirlpool that went all the way up the Sky Island.
I'm gonna go next.
Okay. Go ahead, Josh.
Cowboy Bebop was probably one of my favorite animes growing up, and then Samurai Champloo came out. Dragon Ball Z heavily influenced me. Actually, started me into watching anime. It was Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. But One Piece, just just what Ken said. They told me we're gonna go to the Grand Line. We got there. Now what? I'm not invested anymore. I don't even care because One Piece.
Besides, how can you vote against all those shoulder pads in Dragon Ball Z? Look at those.
And like, and also like, what was more hype, Dragon Ball Z or One Piece? Dragon Ball Z. Like you only talked about Dragon Ball Z in elementary school.
They took a 20-year hiatus and came back as number one. There you go.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Alright.
And they had one like one of the best fighting games out right now too. So
It's true. It's true. One
Alright.
Piece doesn't do that much,
One Piece fighting game is hot garbage. Yeah, so One Piece.
All right.
that's-
Okay, so I'll go next. I think Cowboy Bebop it's great. Like coming from volunteering at Anime Expo, dude, that is like the holy grail for them. Like you cannot touch it. It's sacred. Like no matter what, they will always be having that sound the soundtrack playing.
Mhm.
Okay, it never misses.
1, 2, 3.
But when it comes to One Piece, I really do admire the creator because he knows when they're going to get to the One Piece, right, to the Grand Line or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's called Never, boy.
Well, they got there already.
Or whatever.
No,
they
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 never went to the One Piece though.
Yeah.
Right.
On
Never
the
got to the
treasure,
treasure.
right?
No, they never got
And fuck them.
And I think he keeps creating quality things, but like it's way too long for me to go back to. So I'll just go back and do this. It's when it comes to like Dragon Ball, it's nice and partitioned into sagas. And when you think about Dragon Ball Super and how good it is, damn, can't deny it. Andres?
So it's 4 for One Piece.
Damn, this shit is hard.
I actually likes One Piece.
Yeah, it's weird because like I grew up with it, and I actually like was one of the fans that stayed with the anime, like and the manga, and so it just
Manga
it's-
rule.
right, and then so it's just it's hard because like I really like One Piece. I like its characters. There's a shitload of development with the characters.
Wait, you're throwing Cowboy Bebop to the ground, dude? That's what you
No,
said?
no.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm
okay.
just saying that with
Okay.
One Piece.
I'm gonna judge
With-
you based on your answer.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying with One Piece, I've like they've taken me like since I was a kid to now, and Cowboy Bebop didn't do that. But Cowboy Bebop, I can't take
Yeah,
out Cowboy Bebop's
yeah.
history. Like it's one of the holy meccas of anime, and if it wasn't for Cowboy Bebop, we wouldn't have a lot of animes. Dragon Ball Z too. Dragon Ball Z influenced
go.
One Piece.
This is your
Their
final
character.
answer.
the freaking Goku is
Vegeta.
is essentially Luffy is Goku.
Oh, so
And
you
then-
said wow, boy.
Well, he's not. He hasn't chosen.
I know.
Yeah, so, but I would have to take out One Piece just in comparison to the other two. I
Yeah,
couldn't.
Good.
Hard.
Good
Yeah.
choice, my guy. Good choice.
Look, Luffy took the gum fruit. Okay, I don't know how he started turning into a gorilla and shit. Like it's just ridiculous.
Well,
You know,
he
like,
has
He's scared.
the thing is that he's rubber, so he can like morph himself into the animals that he trained with. So he has like a snake man form and the gorilla form and the elephant gun and whatever. It's because those were all the animals he trained with in the island when his brother died.
See, that's Jake, man. Look at that. Look, if Robin can make infinite hands, right? Can she just make infinite guns that come with those hands? No.
No.
How about
Well,
Yeah.
I agree with Andres. Like when it comes to the development, it makes sense. It never feels like it's forced on you or half-assed when it comes to One Piece.
Right.
Not at all.
like,
It has so much history.
No,
Like,
look,
like,
it's just I will go with the when it comes to the long period of time and how much it will take you to watch the show.
yeah, what's your
Yeah. I mean, you could always skip the fillers.
Look, you could
Just like Naruto. Everybody skips the fillers.
Yep. And Bleach.
no, but if you
Yo,
like,
Boruto is 100% filler.
no, but what I'm saying, if you're a true fan of anime, you watch every single episode, no matter
Yeah.
what it is. You get me?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a true
I've
fan of anime, and I used to watch fillers. Then I got fucking bored. I was like, I can't do this
I
anymore.
could tell you,
you haven't let Ray choose this yet?
All right, go ahead, Ray.
Okay, right.
Cowboy Bebop.
Ray's want to die, huh? Ray, you wanna?
I don't. I,
Bro.
just because I haven't seen it. All right. So
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought so.
I had no brother.
This man
That's what I'm
took
saying.
out.
I don't give a
like,
fuck.
One of like
I had no brother. That's what Ray's saying. I had no.
he took out one of the OGs that pretty much gave anime life in America, like outside of Japan. You know, like it's crazy.
Well, I'd like to invite all of you to the Ray's funeral real quick.
All
right.
Everybody here doesn't get judged, but Ray.
Hey,
Bro.
talking about funerals, there's gonna be a funeral of a Cowboy Bebop, right?
Oh, dude, don't say
Really?
that. Don't say that.
Yeah, because they're making a live action movie
Live
about
action movie.
Oh
too.
shit,
it.
that's dead on arrival.
Why, Akers? Why you tell me this, huh? I don't
And
want to
they're
know.
and they're gonna dilute what's her name's outfit
Yeah.
because
Hey.
it's too much for the American audience.
Too
That's
much. Oh my
Wow.
god! Even though I think
Bro, you can go outside and see women wearing less than that.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
This is too much.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too much for the American audience. They can't handle it.
Yo, that's what women wear most of the time outside,
Bro,
Yo, you
they
just go to
wear that
Instagram.
conventions.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I see.
Just go to.
Dude, no way. Seriously?
Yeah,
Jeez.
seriously.
Yo, just
Yeah.
go to concerts, bro. I see a girl half naked.
Please don't ever make Kill a Kill an action.
Oh,
Oh,
that thing
jeez.
never happened. They're already the minors, so
If you brought Kill a Kill, all you're gonna see is the two clothes fighting each other.
Just the two suits.
Yeah, you're just gonna see the two shirts just hitting each other like slapping.
There's
The
so many
lack of
naked,
clothes.
naked
Yeah,
guys
people
animations
are
all the time.
naked and like skimpy outfits. Yo, it's GG.
All right.
So what's next?
let's go to the next one.
The
Movie
movie
studios, let's go simply because that's where Josh wanted to go.
Oh hell no!
Ah,
God
damn.
damn.
All right, this one's hard.
You made it hard.
Oh,
So I can
no.
start.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna start this one. I have to get rid of Marvel. Sorry.
Oh, straight up the bat.
Like Studio Ghibli, you know how I feel about Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli movies. Like I think animation is underrated these days. And then Warner Brothers, I'm sorry, bro. They did way too much to get rid of. Like you can forget about getting rid of Warner Brothers. It has to be Marvel.
Yeah, because like honestly, they you forget like Warner have like generations of great film.
Bro, dude,
Well, you could say they started the film industry.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Oh.
what are those?
Yeah, no, it was Warner, and then I think back in like what the 1925, the Warner Brothers, something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's
And then
Warner and his brothers. I forgot what.
it was two brothers that they started it off, and then I believe a few years later, I don't know if it was a year, Disney started coming around like, oh, I want to make cartoons too.
Right,
So-
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Damn. Okay.
You can forget about getting rid of one of those.
All right, Max, go ahead.
Oh shoot. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the spot. Okay, so I love Studio Ghibli. I really do. But they don't have that as much movies.
What the hell are you
Wait,
talking
wait,
about?
wait, wait.
I think they have
No,
Oh.
like Hayao Miyazaki definitely, pioneered.
Remember, he's
films
not the
of-
only guy at Studio Ghibli.
I'm not gonna give it to Studio Ghibli. Obviously, I'm not. There's no way. Like my vote goes to Marvel Studios, absolutely. Just because all they do is one thing, and that's just Marvel, right? When it comes to like Studio Ghibli, like sure they do animation, but they branch into so many different topics. It's crazy. I just wish that the Miyazaki's proteges were better.
Oh, that's for sure.
True, that's for sure. True.
I mean,
Yeah.
they need better beards like he has. You
Yeah.
know,
Because the Arietti thing was the
it wasn't-
Secret Life of Arietti wasn't all that great, and then you also have the witches, the one about
Marion Witch's
Oh,
Flower.
Castle in
Yeah.
the Sky. Castle in the Sky is good though.
no, but Mary and the Witch's Flower is from a protege as well, and that thing is not that good.
No.
The animation is sick. It's just the story was okay. I mean, that one was just on the book, so who knows?
Okay, Lou, you put me on the spot. Right back at you.
I can't get rid of Spirit Away. I just can't. It's a really great movie, and that was how Karen presented me to the Studios Ghibli. It actually was you, Max, too, because you
Yeah.
told me to watch Princess Princess
Momonoke.
Mononoke,
Yeah.
and then I watched my Ponyo, and then my neighbor Totoro after that.
Yeah, like honestly, when I remember the Studio Ghibli, the first thing I watched was My Neighbor Totoro, and it was in El Salvador too. I was really young, and I caught it just on TV. I don't know why they were airing it, but I watched it, and then after that, it disappeared off the face of the earth. And then when I came here to the U.S., and then I saw it again, I was like, "Holy shit, that's what it was!" It was crazy. It was like finding a long lost
Bro,
friend.
and then when it comes to Warner Brothers, dude, Batman the show,
Yeah.
boy, gosh, that was holy
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, because I remember the first movie I was ever really excited for was Spirited Away.
Yeah, that's what.
Like,
Away
this
just
was
took
back when I was
my
like
mind.
third grade. It was crazy.
And it reflects to the education too, though, right? When it comes to you watch it.
Okay, go ahead, Andres. What's your-
Studios,
Wait,
Marvel
wait, the
Studios
Google
gone.
pick?
It's
Yeah,
a no.
Marvel Studios. Yeah,
It's a no. It's a
Marvel.
no-brainer. Marvel.
Okay.
Studio has superior storytelling, amazing visuals. Warner Brothers has history upon history of movies. If it wasn't for them, who knows when the movie industry would have started. We've got so many compelling actors and moments, and I mean, Universal Studios is just a timestamp of what Warner Brothers did.
Yeah.
True.
And I mean, if it wasn't for them, like we wouldn't get a lot of the movies that we have today. So I can't take Warner Brothers off either. So it has to go with Marvel, because Marvel is, they've made really good movies, but some have been hit or miss with them. And I mean, when you compare the storytelling and the visuals with Studio Ghibli, and then you compare the history with Warner Brothers, I mean, they don't have a dog in the park.
Oh. Damn. It's tough because when you look at Marvel Studios, right? Like you're essentially saying like, hey, maybe they do something on the future. You have to think about the future too, right?
Right.
Because when we look at all the other studios, we're essentially looking at the past.
Yeah, and it's crazy because also Marvel Studios has been a cultural influence as well, with Black Panther and
Yeah.
how much wasn't that a cultural influence on the black community? I mean, they came out in droves to support that movie.
thing when it comes to Brothers, though, is that they have what is considered the best movie of all time. Anyone know what that is?
For where?
Ray-
Marvel?
What is it?
Which one? Which studios?
Which studio?
What brother has what is considered the greatest movie ever?
Citizen Kane?
No. Ray, what is it?
Oh yeah. Wait. What's it called? Fuck.
Back to the
You
Future.
talking about Mad Max?
Mad Max?
No, Casablanca.
I'll get the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, Casablanca is.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, it's
legendary.
pretty dope.
I-
Yeah.
Casablanca.
Movie ever made. That's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you watch that now, you're like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Because Max wasn't wrong. Citizen Kane, it's up there.
Oh no,
Yeah.
don't. Okay, this is a pretty popular movie, but it's
I
not.
don't think it's Warner, though.
Casablanca just still the shows.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
right?
Ray, what do you pick?
I'm gonna go with Marvel Studios just because they made a stupid Captain Marvel movie.
Oh my god.
I support that. I support that. That Captain
And
Marvel
Warner
movie
Brothers
sucks.
make those shitty DC movies.
We don't talk about those.
Argue.
Okay, anybody else who's missing?
That's me.
Okay.
It's kind of hard because I love 2D animation, so like it's kind of hard to say, "Oh, Studio Ghibli should go." But I grew up on DC shows like Batman, Batman Beyond, the Justice League. Those were my shit. Marvel shows, I mainly grew up watching Spider-Man.
Mhm.
X-Men here and there, and X-Men Evolution were like probably, like the one things that I really liked for Marvel.
But if you think
Spider-Man.
about it, those weren't part of Marvel Studios yet.
Right. Marvel
Yeah.
Studios.
I mean, yeah, I'm just talking about in terms of
And
like
remember, WB had the rights to Pokemon when it first came out.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, did they distributed the first movie?
Right?
Yeah.
And Yu-Gi-Oh too.
Now,
Oh,
if we're talking about like the future, because Marvel is
I
setting
know,
the bar for
but-
the future and stuff like that. Because it's kind of hard. Not gonna lie. I mean, if we talk about the past, it's definitely Marvel gotta go. Like it's goodbye. But we talk about the future. Marvel is. I mean, because of Disney money, they've been the ones to push the boundaries of like what you do. What do you do with movies nowadays?
The thing is if they go, everything they ever contributed goes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Which means if you give it to Warner Brothers, everything they contributed just goes with it. That's for like 100 years of stuff.
yeah,
See what
I
they're
know that.
saying?
Yeah, but like they weren't the only ones back in the day and getting into animation like that either. They just were the ones that got big like that. You know what I mean? But they did influence Disney to do stuff. But Disney was also influenced by others. So it depends all ways. You never really know with this stuff. But in terms of just history, just Marvel Studios.
Marvel Studios. Okay,
I agree. Marvel still has to go.
easy.
I
think it
can't
was
get rid of
hard,
2D animation. Like you can't get rid of that.
Easy money.
And still, D was kind of hard, to be honest.
And then remember, guys, WB did Space Jam. Okay, Space Jam.
And by the way, I watched Space Jam recently. Still holds up.
Yeah.
It's still entertaining.
It's
Yeah,
really.
It's cheesy as hell, but
It's
that's
short.
the '90s. Like the '90s was just that. That's what it was.
Short.
It's super short. Like,
you guys remember Lunatics Unleashed?
huh?
Lunatics Unleashed?
I do, but yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
Lunatics Unleashed.
What
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Show, right?
Tiny Toons
The
was
show,
my
yeah.
fave.
All right, let's do the next one.
All right, so this would
What's
be
the
the
next
last one that I have, and we do have another activity, but you know what? Let's just save that for the next podcast because it's number one, it's getting late, and number two, everybody has their own picks, which is great, and also makes it easy. That means that I don't have to plan anything for next week.
All right.
Okay, next, cartoon studios.
Oh.
Oh,
Damn,
Ooh.
son.
oh no, I can't do this. No.
Oh man, Nick and Cartoon Network in the '90s, man.
That's the thing, because Hanna-Barbera Studios did a lot of the Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about studios,
No, like, oh yeah, just like overall, like all the characters. Let's just call it all the characters, studios, etc.
Damn, we gotta go.
Oh,
Man,
fuck.
this one's hard.
You can argue that Nickelodeon was a snapshot of the '90s, right? Because
Yeah, like everyone still thinks of Nickelodeon as like the '90s. Like they drove the '90s. Or like
Yeah, it's crazy because if you look at that, I watched every show that's in that.
Yeah,
and also if
really.
you think about it too, almost all of Hanna-Barbera's shows were on Cartoon Network.
Right.
They weren't on Nickelodeon. They were on Cartoon Network. So
Okay. Yeah. Ruby, you go first.
Who?
Ruby, you go first.
Me? God damn it. Bro.
this is fucking tough.
We need someone to hate first.
No, first of all, Nickelodeon says because it has Angry Beavers, the best show I ever watched in Nickelodeon.
it's underrated for sure. I
No,
love it.
because if you watch the show, or personas how we act, it's me and my brother literally.
Uh-huh.
If you watch it,
Yeah, so
uh,
you're like Daggett.
I'm a Dagger and my brother's like normal.
Yeah, you're both brown and short too.
I like that rectangular shape too.
Right?
Dude. And
And Ray has that scowl.
Uh-huh.
The eyes.
dude, I never, dude, Scooby Doo. And Hanna-Barbera.
Tom and Jerry, though?
Tom and
Yeah,
Jerry.
but
too.
Scooby Doo's in Cartoon Network too. Look, he's right there.
I know,
But I
but
mean,
it's the
yeah.
whole show that got me in to watch Scooby Doo. It's like these kind of fuck.
You got to think about Samurai Jack too, right?
For Samurai Jack, Kim
Yeah.
Next Door,
Yo, my nigga Toonami though.
Power
Oh,
Girls, Johnny Bravo,
yes, it was.
Johnny
I thought that
Bravo.
was what's this called?
Nah,
William
Toonami.
Street.
Toonami is Cartoon Network.
No, the
Oh.
character of Toonami is like the idea. Most of the shows were, licensed.
Yeah, but like
What is this,
the whole
Boomerang?
idea of Toonami.
That's Boomerang. Yeah,
Okay.
Boomerang has to go. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's rough, yo.
Wait, you said
It's your-
Cartoon Network?
No,
Boomerang?
Boomerang.
Meaning
Oh, this is
Hanna-
Boomerang
Barbera.
over here.
no,
It's
No,
Hanna-Barbera.
what's Hanna-Barbera?
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Barbera.
okay.
Boomerang is just where Cartoon Network throws
Cartoon
this.
Network,
Yeah, that's just the old Cartoon Network stuff.
There
Okay.
were not one, but two legendary cartoonists that you just.
I'm going back on you, Kenny.
Yeah, because you know.
Okay. I can tell you, I'm not going to eliminate Cartoon Network. Dexter Laboratory won awards. Papa Girls won awards. Foster Home won awards. Ed, Ed, Eddie won awards.
Jack,
Yeah.
They Samurai Jack won. Yeah, like
Jack is another person.
he had a lot of hits. Even Tom and Jerry and Scooby Doo still going after all these years. So Cartoon Network is safe as hell. I have to get rid of Nickelodeon.
Damn, that.
I love all.
Doctor's
you-
in? Really? Hey,
I
Arnold?
love Peter's bro. That's like one of my favorite.
SpongeBob, homie?
But the thing is, bro, like I just have to give it Nickelodeon.
The memes, bro. The memes. Are you getting rid of the memes of SpongeBob?
I can't give it a Kids Next Door. That's God tier for me. I just can't give it a Hanna-Barbera. Like I said, they did so much for cartoons. It's just like, what can you do? Scooby Doo was created in the '60s, my guy.
Yeah.
and it's still
That's
getting
the only thing.
shown.
It's just a dilemma, man. I'm telling you.
But if you take a look at all these cartoons, you're right. I watched all of them, but all of them except SpongeBob got canceled. Some of these cartoons are still there. A lot of Cartoon Network shows also got canceled, but at least they won awards.
And then you're also showing that, like, when they're coming back, right? Some of them are, they're
Yeah.
making it back in a big way too.
They're only really getting like specials in movies. For Nickelodeon, anyway.
Kenneth, you throw it to somebody else.
Go, Andres.
I had a lot of time to think. I think Nickelodeon has to go too. A lot of like just looking at it, like I didn't see that Ginger. Like I saw a few episodes of Ginger, but like I wasn't really too into it. The Wild Thornberries, Rocket Power, Cat Dog, Angry Beavers, Invader Zim, Rugrats. Hey Arnold, like it was cool, but there were some episodes I was just bored as shit. And
Are you right?
Hanna-Barbera though, like has so much history, and if it wasn't for them, we would never have gotten Cartoon Network. If you think about it, and also
Yo,
it
but
just
damn, man.
and also
Nickelodeon.
they
Yeah, I'm
also
telling you,
yeah.
They also
They-
have Harvey Birdman, right? Like Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, that they had
Oh
that
my
Space
God,
Ghost.
Space Ghost, yeah.
They
Cartoon
had
Network is
I mean,
untouched though. Like,
right, and Hanna-Barbera, if you think about it, is probably the first studio that introduced animated heroes.
True.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
Yeah.
And
They
so like
produced Superman.
yeah, I mean they if you think about it, they have that much history that if it wasn't for them, that maybe we wouldn't get influences like Batman the animated series, or we wouldn't have gone on influences because all that you could have seen that with Hawkman, and you saw that with Space Ghost, and you saw that like you see those influences in on our modern animated shows now, and like the things that they tackle. And if it wasn't for Hanna-Barbera, we wouldn't get a lot of those shows.
Yeah, they did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. They essentially
I hated
housed
Superman.
all of them. Yeah. Okay, you throw it to somebody else, Andres.
I think Josh hasn't gone, right?
no, I haven't gone. Oh man, I don't know. Yo, I grew up watching Tom and Jerry, man. That was like one of my favorite cartoons. I laughed my ass off watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really didn't like the Flintstones growing up. I was a fan of the Jetsons. Yogi Bear was alright for me. Top Cat was pretty cool. Space Ghost, I liked it, especially the block they got on Adult Swim. It's pretty
Right.
cool too. Cartoon Network was untouched, for the simple fact that they gave us some legendary ass cartoons. They also gave us Toonami and Adult Swim. Adult Swim is probably my favorite block of all time. Even the stuff that Adult Swim has, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, like you can't get rid of that shit. But damn, Nickelodeon though, like we got all that. Key and Pete, not Key and Peele.
Kennedy
Kel.
Kel.
Fucking the Amanda Show, man. Those '90s shows were fucking amazing. Like yo, can I just plead the fifth on this one?
No, you can't. You
I
gotta
don't
the
know,
fifth.
man. And then Invader Zim, I love Invader Zim, Rocket
Yeah.
Power. Damn, Rugrats. And even the live action shows that Nickelodeon had were fucking amazing too. Like,
Yeah. Rocket Power is the one that hurts the most. Like for me,
Rocket Power,
like to get rid of it. And
Especially
that
if
was
it happens here.
yes.
look, man.
And it's just and they're islanders and like I can like
Look, man.
that surf and skate culture. Like I was
when
so
they-
into that.
Invented foldable scooters and they put them in rocket power.
Oh,
Right.
That's true.
Look, man. I grew up with Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon in the '90s, like they pretty much were the face of the '90s. It's Hanna-Barbera. It has been.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Oh.
Without Hanna-Barbera, you don't get Cartoon Network. Though.
Yeah, you don't
I
get
still
Cartoon
had
Network.
at least I'll have Nickelodeon, yo. Like,
Maybe you probably won't get half of those shows in Nickelodeon.
I don't know. Maybe a man could dream about this one day and see what's up. It's tough. Like it's really tough. But I'm going off my bias of what I grew up watching and stuff like that. So Hanna-Barbera,
Throw to somebody, Josh.
who hasn't gone?
Ray
and myself, I think.
Matt, go.
All right. So again, when you think about Nickelodeon, I understand that some episodes, like Andre says, were really slow. But personally, when it comes to a cartoon, I've never seen topics that were as deep as were covered in Hey Arnold, right? Hey
Yes.
Arnold
Yeah.
covered some, like, when it comes to script, right? It covers some really difficult things. When you think about like Rocko's Modern Life, sure, it was like it was a messy show, but a lot of the undertones were quite rooted in society at the time, which is kind of crazy.
Right.
Wild Thornberries, which is good. I mean, who thought that National Geographic can make an amazing, a National Geographic Life can become an amazing TV show, right? And when it comes to Hanna-Barbera, right, some of these characters are legendary. Some characters I don't care for. Like, for example, I don't care for Tom and Jerry. They could die in a ditch.
What?
Oh, I hate.
Wow. Yo, Max, we are
Oh,
not friends.
Yo, Tom and Jerry?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
Tom
hate
and
Tom and
Jerry, my dude. Oh shit,
I
you got me
I
fucked up. Tom and Jerry. Oh man, I'm
Yo,
ready for-
you know, Tom and Jerry was one of the first cartoons that introduced African Americans.
yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. It's fine.
Cultural
Was it not racist though?
significance.
Hmm?
Not really.
No.
They
It was,
never really
they were
never showed faces.
right. They were like what's it called? Cow and chicken, where they only showed the bottom half
Right.
of the parents.
Showed the
Yeah.
leg. That.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
when it comes to like racism in cartoons, I think Disney is a lot more tainted than anyone here. Because like Hanna-Barbera was very inclusive for for his time.
Right.
But like that said, right? I don't like particularly Tom and Jerry. I never understood simply because realistically, Cat will always win. But all the other cartoons like.
But what if the mouse go get the dog though?
Yeah.
But then you think about the superheroes, right? Like Birdman, right? The Herculoids. When you think about my all-time favorite Hanna-Barbera, like Johnny Quest, dude, such great shows. And they came back in comic book form, and they had a great reception, right?
Yeah, they did.
Also, better. They also had Tex Avery.
Yeah, it's true.
He's a third one of the best cartoonists. He made like Droopy and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Cartoon Network, just by the fact that they defined, an entire TV network, and they say like we're going to just show cartoons, okay? That's crazy, unheard of, right? Because even Nickelodeon had live action shows. Cartoon Network is like we're gonna do just cartoons, right? Which is daring. That said, though, I'm gonna have to eliminate Cartoon Network.
Ooh, damn.
I see that.
this man just destroyed.
Yeah, like
Samurai
when I
Jack.
see,
Like Hanna-Barbera covers Cartoon Network, really.
yeah, because like when you think about,
but
and then some shows were good. Like for example, Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends, right? I like the show. I hate the main character. Blue sucks. He's a jerk. But when you think about Dexter's Lab, Kids Next Door, dude, Kids Next Door is incredibly deep for a story. It's crazy. So that's the one that hurts for me. But
Samurai Jack don't hurt.
it hurts, right? But then Genki Tarkovsky wasn't
Johnny
treated well by
Bravo.
Cartoon Network.
Ed and Eddie.
They didn't let him finish it, right? Cartoon Network didn't let Genki Tarkovsky finish Samurai Jack until much later. So, and they also killed a lot of really good series. And when I see things like, Billy and Mandy, I hated Courage the Cowardly Dog. I did not like it. Did not get it.
Really?
I like
Yeah.
I love Courage.
Yeah, I hate that.
What's up, Adventure
that-
Time? The regular show.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
shoot! Right, that
And
new
two. Fuck,
I forgot about regular show. Damn.
Cartoon Network pretty much was like at the forefront when it came to anime in America.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Not
If
the
it wasn't for Toonami, a lot of people wouldn't be
Yeah,
caught on
Toonami is what
to that.
introduced Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, all those great animes you watch. Cartoon Network showed that.
Detective Conan,
No.
Yetcha.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys, and like I said, like looking at these characters, I forgot about for example, Adventure Time, right?
Boy.
Oddly enough, even Uncle Grandpa was fucking hilarious, and Teen Titans, right?
Teen Titans? Oh my god, you kidding?
Yeah,
Teen
Teen
Titans
Titans
too?
Card Network, yeah, it was pretty dope. Anyways, I'll pass it over. I'll pass it over to Ray. I will not take my vote back.
Uncle, if you think about it, are they saying Uncle Grandpa fucked his daughter?
What the fuck?
Yeah, they would have to, because that's the way you can be your uncle or your grandpa.
Well, the
Oh,
thing is that he's everybody's uncle and grandpa. Like he doesn't have
Right.
family.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, wink, wink, wink. I get it. Wink.
All right, Ray, last one.
All right. So essentially, Nickelodeon is like, it's like Cartoon Network for poor people.
Oh shit.
Well,
It's true. Look. I'm saying it from my own perspective. I know for sure. I live in El Salvador. They didn't have no, what's it called, cable. And the only characters I used to watch at first was the ones you see towards you. What, right? Right? Flipstorm, Scooby Doo, the Supersonics. I think it was the, no. What's it called? No Supersonics.
What?
Jetstones. All right. All right. So all of those shows were the first ones they introduced me to watching, cartoons. Right. I think Max, we used to watch them like around 12 o'clock.
Yeah, we
Whenever
used to
we-
just put him in the background.
Yeah,
Out
we
of
would just
place.
eat lunch and watch Scooby Doo and the Flipstones, right, or something like Jetstone. All right, and then Nickelodeon came around a little bit later, and that's why I was like, you know what, we could watch Nickelodeon because I cannot afford to watch Cartoon Network. It's only on
That's
cable.
true.
We can only the only way we could watch Cartoon Network, at least when we grew up, is to go to one of my aunt's houses that she had cable, and that's the only way I could actually watch Cartoon Network.
Hell
Right.
yeah.
And I was like, no, Nickelodeon, I cannot kill it. It's too much memories for me. All right. And the only one cartoon that I hate about Nickelodeon, and I even watch, is that dude with the blue nose right underneath the rocker power.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
Ren
know
and
what the
Stimpy.
fuck. Whenever I saw that on Cartoon Network, because I only saw it on cable, I don't know why. I never saw it on regular Nickelodeon channel. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird, disgusting. I never liked it.
That's a weird show.
Ren and Stimpy was really progressive for its time.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think it was just
That
the
kind
the
of
fact that
cartoon
we were
would
not there.
Yeah, that kind of cartoon would never see the light of day in this day and age.
No, no,
Yeah.
yeah. I only saw it like on late at night, and then never saw.
Yeah, I mean it was meant
Uh-huh.
for late at night.
It was meant for that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, obviously, it pushed the boundaries of what could be shown in a cartoon, especially. But Nickelodeon, I cannot get rid of it. Obviously, I grew up with all those characters like that. I saw all of them, and that's the only way I couldn't wait until to see. What was it? Yu-Gi-Oh also Nickelodeon? No, right?
No,
No,
Nah,
that was
Cartoon
Warner
Network.
Brothers.
The Brother Brothers, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know how it was at the Salvador. But anyways, yeah, coming back, I will have to choose one to get rid of. I guess I'll just get rid of Boomerang or whatever.
Oh, Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah,
Hanna-Barbera?
yeah. Just because yes, there's some like nostalgia there, but there's not a lot of connection. I can see him going away. I'm gonna be fine.
Dude, if you were to snap Hanna-Barbera, essentially everything on the board would get cleared out.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't give a fuck.
All right. We'll end up with Dick Entertainment being the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the logical choice is Nickelodeon, but man, I'm being biased right now.
The thing is that they created like
Sure.
quality content in the right time. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And like Ray said, like they weren't limited to cable back in the outside the world.
Yeah, like, so Boomerang,
But-
Tom and Jerry was everywhere, was simple. Scooby Doo was the mainstream one. The
Yeah.
Jetstones 2 and the Flipstones. They all were like mainstream cartoons that we used to see 24/7 in El
Yeah.
Salvador whenever they run it on Saturdays or some shit like that. Right? But then obviously Nickelodeon came around and that Nickelodeon took over the afternoon programming. I was like,
Yeah.
shit, Nickelodeon, right? 24/7, all the way to maybe 8 o'clock at night. Right?
Nick
That-
at Night.
right? So, so Nickelodeon took over that, and then obviously Cartoon Network. I didn't. Obviously, Cartoon Network was like, oh, it's privilege. Only rich kids
Yeah.
are able to experience Cartoon Network. Or whenever I went to my aunt's house on the weekends, I used to watch Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And Ruben was like, oh, I got Cartoon Network at my aunt's house. I'm not gonna even get out of the house. I just
Hell yeah.
That's
Stay there.
true.
Ruben was
Shit,
like
I
Ruben would
remember
get his ass whooped because he wouldn't turn off the TV.
Worth it.
So,
Like-
my side story on that, right? Like because my aunt really, she used to be a teacher, so she hated kids watching TV for longer than an hour, right?
Oh,
So
boy.
when we sat down, to watch TV, she was like, you guys have 1 hour. And dude, whatever the hell was on, that shit was what you were watching, right? That's it. And then like when the hour was up, right, we had like 1 or 2 warnings. And then she's like, okay, stop watching. And then we're like, okay, one more, like one more episode, come on. And then if we didn't listen, she would literally kill the power to the entire house. She would just go to the fuse
Oh,
box
yeah.
and just bring it down.
Yep.
Yeah, just like go out there and
That's
play,
wow.
or
Uh,
just like come and do the dishes, or start cleaning, do something, read
Now,
the Bible.
I
one
think the
thing I
good thing
hated.
I was doing
Uh,
good in math, and that's why I got 3 hours of TV.
Yo, one thing I hated about watching Cartoon Network and all these cartoons in Dominican Republic, when those lights went out, you were depressed. Because I don't know how it was in El Salvador, but Dominican Republic, since they're so poor,
Mhm.
like they'll cut the lights off in around poor neighborhoods, and then just to save money. So you'll be
Yeah.
there you'll be there watching cartoon like, oh, what's about to happen? Chew! You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. It was like honestly, like there's a lot of life you lived through these channels and characters. It's insane. That's why I picked it.
For
And I'm
you,
not
gu- wait, for
Go
you
ahead.
guys that grew up here, and you all had cable, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
I mean, when we didn't have cable, I had Fox Kids and Kids.
I had the black box.
Oh,
Yeah, I had the black box. That 90s.
Yeah.
Man.
Or were you one of those kids
Oh.
that had the big old satellite dish in the back?
I had
I had the
both.
black box.
Yeah, no, we had the satellite dish. I had the satellite dish, but the card was hacked.
Boy, Andres and Kenneth selection right
Okay.
now, boys.
But Kenneth, when you say satellite dish, how big, like the radius?
Oh, it wasn't that big. Nah, it wasn't like gigantic. It was
Like,
just
yeah,
what it was that back in the day when you got satellite from like Dish or something,
Mhm.
they didn't care about the satellite or if you returned the box. They just
Ah.
didn't care. I don't know why. And so satellite is complete garbage, by the way, because within range it sucks.
Uh,
But back in the day, like they had back in the day the cards they had was what gave you access to the shows to that network. So like people found out if you just hack the card or put a fake one in,
Yep.
you could just get all the stuff. Like
I actually have a story about that.
right, you could get like all the pay per view channels, everything.
Yeah.
And so like one time someone who lived in a building,
Uh-huh.
he saw we had satellite and he was just like, yo, like don't even worry about it. Like I could just help you. So he gave us like a hack card and then we just had it.
Ah. See,
Yeah.
like in our country, when you said satellite, the diameter of the dish was probably about 16 to 20 feet.
God.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was huge. Like
What, you were trying to contact Mars?
I have no idea. Like I don't know, it was a thing. Like if you had satellite, that meant that you had an actual freaking
Satellite.
huge-ass dish in the back. And
Yeah.
usually it took most of the yard. It's crazy.
Put it,
Nobody
yeah.
had it, but our neighbor had it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Nah,
Here,
that
he-
satellite here was like maybe like what, a foot and a half in diameter.
Yeah, they're not that
Josh,
big.
Yeah.
Josh. No, wait, Ken, you're younger. Hold on. When satellite dishes were first introduced to residential areas and houses, the satellite dishes were as big as a smart car.
Yeah, something like that.
They're-
yeah.
Yeah,
They
they,
were
were, they, were pretty, they were
huge.
pretty big, yeah.
They were, I mean, just
Hey, it is
the
now.
cylinder alone looked like a monster
Like
truck.
in the mid 90s around there, they were big like
they
that.
were big as
But-
fuck.
Once like DirecTV started becoming popping, they shrunk the satellites.
Yeah,
the
they
satellite
shrunk
would be
them into,
like-
gray ones.
I
Probably-
think get cable in the 2000s.
Yeah, they weren't as big. Like black boxes was the shit in the 90s. Then early 2000s, it was
yeah.
like DirecTV. If you had DirecTV,
Right.
everyone came to your house to watch TV.
You had money.
Yeah,
everything.
true.
And then
You know
same thing with
what? You know, by the early. No,
Go ahead.
for it. I know.
Alright.
In the early 2000s, when my dad moved in with us, we already had a black box and a satellite, but he wanted to see Mexican channels, so he imported a satellite dish from Mexico called Skynet, and you could see all the
Skynet?
channels from Mexico.
wow.
Yeah.
Seriously, Skynet, just
Yeah.
like Terminator.
The
Yeah.
one thing I liked-
Yeah, just like Terminator.
Damn.
one thing I liked about satellite at the time was that we used to get New York channels.
Yeah.
So because
Oh,
like
yeah.
we got New shows, like you could see the show 3 hours in advance.
Yeah,
Mhm.
3 hours in
And
advance.
I would like see the show, and then I'll like call my friend because we used to like call each other to talk about the show.
And ruined
Yeah,
it.
I'll call the show for him right on the phone.
Wow, what a dick.
Like, he's like, yo, I can't see what happened with Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, yeah, this happens on this. And he's like, man, fuck you. I'm like,
Oh, that sucks.
What a dick, yo. But like
Yeah,
Ken was
savage.
saying though, like satellites. Once you found out like someone on the block who knew how to hack it, you had every single channel. It was kind of crazy. There was one guy would just come to the block and be like, "Yo, I got the
Right.
that
You-
DirecTV card."
yeah, you would pay him, but you like one time.
Yeah, you pay him like what, $50 instead of paying
Yeah,
$200-$300 for premium shit.
Mhm.
Like everybody on the block had it, yo. It was insane. It was dope. It was dope.
Remember when you knew that you were gonna miss a show, so you recorded on a VHS?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, I used to do that with Dragon Ball. Like I knew like I wasn't gonna
Yo,
make it for the
I
time.
used to do that for Kids WB. If I ain't gonna wake up, record.
No, you have to do
My
that
mom,
for YouTube,
mom used to record whole Fox Kids segment blocks for me.
Yo, I actually
On
still
VHS.
have tapes of
way.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Back at home from Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1 all the way to season 4. Just
That's crazy.
VHSs. Just VHS for me recording those episodes.
See, when
That was
when
Crazy.
when we were living here, I actually
Yo,
do the
there
same
weren't
thing,
DVD recording back in the day, my guy.
No.
bro. That's crazy.
Like
Video.
me, I recorded that shit. I mean, when my friends would come up like, "You want to see Yu-Gi-Oh?" I just pop in the VHS and we just chill, watch some Yu-Gi-Oh. Yo.
Have you ever had
I was so
have you ever
surprised.
had one of the
Yeah.
the VHS fuck up on you and all the fucking tape starts coming out like fucking crazy?
Oh,
man.
Fuck.
And remember those tape rewinders that look like cars?
I had those. And
Yeah.
the headlights would turn on when you press it down.
And
Yo,
it's just like
it's some old school shit
That
right
was
here.
amazing. And then when you didn't have that, you would have to get a fucking eraser and then fucking crank it.
Yeah, you have to
Yes,
crank it up.
Man.
Yo, the struggles, man.
When DVDs came out, when we found out you didn't have to rewind them, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is
Mhm.
the greatest thing ever.
I remember when my father got a DVD player and we were watching movies. I was like, "Yo, how do you rewind?" He's like, "Let me show you something." He hit back. He's like, "Look, it restart." I was like,
No.
Thank God.
I was like,
Bro,
"Oh, this is amazing."
Bro, we had the TV and it had a VHS and DVD player in it, and the only thing was the back button didn't fucking work on the DVD side. So like if you wanted to go back, you're like, fuck it, you just have to let the fucking movie play.
Oh man, that sucks.
Oh, dude.
But also remember when when you were doing recordings, right? And you're like, oh, let's rewind, right? He goes, and you could never stop it at the area where you want it, right? If you wanted to stop it at this frame, it was like miles this way. And if you wanted to fast forward, it was just like boom here. Like I never understood how fast those things went.
Yo, yeah. I want to hear something funny.
What?
I remember when I will record these VHSs, I mean these cartoons like Kids WB, Fox Kids, and all that stuff. I needed an empty VHS or a recordable one because some of you weren't able to record over it. I needed one, so I asked my father to give me one, and he just grabbed a random one from his case. Did I know there was porn on that shit? So I'm recording, right? I'm recording and recording. I'm just like, I didn't even know I wasn't even watching. I'm recording it. And then one day my friends come on, like, oh, you missed last episode? Got you. I put it, right? When it finished, all you saw was a guy just
right? Like,
my friend was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit. This probably
No.
was his stash.
VHS was dangerous for that because like I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but in our family, like when you had VHS, like entire boxes of VHS tapes just were handed down from one family to the other. It's like, here, have all of these boxes. We don't even remember what's in it, but here you go. And then there were days where you just go like, okay, let's see what's in here. Oh, that's that movie. Oh my god, that's crazy. Like, oh, that's a family film. And then suddenly, boom, porno never failed.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy. We still have VHSs here at the house, and they're like all the old school Disney movies.
Yeah.
Like the Black Star ones, where like they're like worth a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yo, if I ever go to like a movie night to someone's house and they want to watch Disney movies on a VHS, I'm walking out. I'm not doing it. And they pull out a CTR and shit like nah, I'm not doing it.
Watch how you put out the cassette. Hold up, fam. I gotta crank this shit to go back.
Like yo, I love the '90s, but I do not want to go back to the '90s.
I remember the only thing I miss about VHSs were the colors.
Yeah, there was
Like you got Nickelodeon VHSs, they were like orange.
Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you got like, I think some of them were like blue.
Sometimes when you rented from Blockbuster, they were blue.
They were blue.
Right.
Too, I remember that. And that N64 did that too for the cartridge, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those were the great times. For Super Nintendo, they did it. I think specifically only Zelda got special.
Yeah. I said Rayman had green. I said also Army Man had green.
Mhm.
I don't remember. There was one that was red that I saw. I don't know what the hell that was.
I think that was that. No, that Pokemon was gold and silver. I think.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, Pokemon was gold and silver. At the
There
same
you go.
flip it,
Yeah.
flip it, yeah, it's silver. Yeah.
My thing was gold and silver. Yeah.
I
There
saw
was
that
one that was red. I just don't remember what it was.
I don't remember one.
Yeah.
Yeah, red. That one was really weird. And then you had was it Ocarina of Time was gold too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Power
it was,
Rangers.
there was a
Power
bunch of them.
Two Rock
There's a bunch of
2
them.
was black.
T-Rex black, yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was red.
Red, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Whatever was this?
And Donkey Kong was yellow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rocket Robot the Wheels, that was red. I don't know if you know that. That was Ubisoft.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, right. They have it there.
Yeah, dude, those were the days.
Yeah,
It was
those-
pretty
All right.
fun.
So we've reached, the end of the evening.
yeah, I need to sleep.
2 minutes. So let me give you guys a sneak peek of what we're gonna be seeing next week, right?
Oh,
All right. So, so go ahead, Ray. Take us out.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the Gameplayx4 podcast. Make sure to subscribe. Our socials are going to be down below. Also, make sure to check out my Political Peasants podcast. It's going to be on my socials too. And we're going to branch out the session with this Robocop face.
Yeah, check out my Instagram, the Josh Gambino. Thank you.
Any last comments, guys? There you go.
Robo says like I'm smashing something right now.
Oh,
Any last comments?
man.
Any comments, Kevin?
No.
That was
All right,
pretty
then.
much it for me.
All right, then, guys.
See you guys later.
Peace. Until next one.
Peace.
Bye, guys.